A very good afternoon to all of you who are joining us from India, and a very good morning to all participants joining us from Europe. We are very happy to bring you today's webinar, which is on the coordinated call with India on waste to renewable hydrogen. This is a joint effort between the European Union and the EU delegation, together in partnership with the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, with the support of the Principal Scientific Advisor's Office here in India. And what we're going to do today is to present you this call, which has just been launched. It's one of, I think, most pressing themes, waste to hydrogen technology development. It's a very interesting call, and a call which also requires a team effort between Europe and India. And this platform, which we're offering you today, will allow you to network, to kind of present yourself. We have a very interesting list of presenters today, which will give a short pitch about their project idea and expertise. At the same time, we will also have experts from both from the European Union, but also from the Indian ministry side, who will present the scope and the modalities of the call, the eligibility criteria, and also giving kind of an outlook how one should form a consortium to apply for this call. We request you kindly to use the chat function for networking purposes, because due to GDPR, we will not be able to share the list of all the participants. But what we will do is we will share the recording and the presentations of our speakers. We will upload them after the webinar on our website, and you can access it. But during the webinar, we very strongly recommend you to use the chat function to introduce yourself, use some keywords about your project idea, expertise, leave your contact details so that other participants who are, interested in collaborating with you or networking with you can contact you after the webinar. We kindly request you please use the Q&A for any questions you have to the speakers. Exclusively use the Q&A function and use the chat more for your networking purposes, right? It's going to be a long event, but I'm very sure it's going to be extremely interesting and fruitful at the end for all of you. And with that, I would very much like to welcome Dr. Hafsa Ahmed from the Office of the Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India. Dr. Hafsa, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us. We would very much like you to open today's session and with your opening remarks, and welcome all the participants. Thank you so much, Dr. Hafsa. The floor is yours.
Thanks, Samrat. All the distinguished participants and colleagues, very good morning, afternoon to all of you. It's a pleasure to welcome you all on this important session under the India-EU Trade and Technology Council Working Group 2. I'm very glad to see that the participation from both the sides, Indian as well as European institutions. Just to give you a brief background, as many of you might be aware that the TTC was launched in the year 2022 in the month of April by the Honorable Prime Minister of India and the President of European Commission. This platform is basically based on deepening cooperation between India and the EU on trade, technology, and security. There are 3 working groups under this platform. The TTC Working Group 2, under which we are working and we are a part of, this focuses on green and clean energy technologies. This includes renewable energy, circular economy, pollution reduction, and sustainable mobility. It focuses on co-developing technologies in green energy, enabling innovation through partnerships and building strong cross-border ecosystems, bringing together researchers, industries, startups, and SMEs from both India and the EU. As part of this broader engagement, waste to hydrogen was identified as one of the thematic areas for research and innovation collaboration between the 2 sides. As you all know that both India and EU have committed to ambitious hydrogen targets. For India, the National Green Hydrogen Mission, which is launched by the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, mission aims to produce 5 million tons of green hydrogen till the year 2030. And in the EU, the REP Power EU plan targets 10 million tons of domestic renewable hydrogen production annually by 2030, and also 10 million tons of imports. So therefore, this is an area of common interest, and waste to hydrogen is especially promising because it will play a key role in meeting this goal, and producing clean fuel and help manage biogenic waste while also reducing emissions. So this is the context of choosing the thematic area. But to achieve all of this at scale, we need innovation. We need to bring in new technologies, new partnerships, and collaborative R&D. Over the past 1 year, the Office of the Principal Scientific Advisor and the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy on the Indian side and the DGRNI on the European Commission side together have co-developed a detailed concept paper which outlines the research priorities and challenges in this space. Now, this concept paper was based on a lot of expert consultations, scoping workshops, and technical exchanges to narrow down that where the joint efforts would make the most impact. This included looking at thermochemical and biochemical routes, catalyst design, purification methods, integration with renewable energy, and techno-economic assessments. All this work led to the launch of the Joint Call for Proposals, a first of its kind effort between India's MNRE and the Horizon Europe program. The goal is to support high quality, well coordinated projects that bring together the Indian and EU research institutions, industries, and technology developers. These projects will not just focus on innovation, but also help in build capacity, demonstrate technology at scale, and create pathways for commercial adoption. We expect the results to feed into India's green hydrogen goals under the national mission while also advancing Europe's hydrogen strategy. I encourage all the participants to build strong consortia, focus on demonstrable outcomes, and leverage your complementary expertise from both the sides, and utilize this call to deliver practical, scalable innovations in waste to hydrogen technologies. That is what is expected out of this call. This is more than a funding opportunity. We think it's a strategic move by both the sides, India and the EU, to co-develop critical clean energy solutions, build shared technological leadership, and accelerate the transition to a low-carbon future. I thank you once again from India's side and the ministry's side to join this session, and I look forward to your active participation. Thank you very much. Over to you, Samrat.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving us an insight into the importance of this EU-India joint collaboration on this specific topic on green and renewable energy, and also your strong encouragement to both sides to come together and try to create some very important impacts in this joint collaboration. With that, I would also like to welcome our next speaker who will give the opening remarks on the behalf of the European Union. That's Dr. Vivek Dham from the EU delegation. He's the advisor at the Research Innovation section, and he's also one of the driving forces behind this joint collaboration between EU and India, particularly under the TTC and the Horizon Europe call. Dr. Vivek, the floor is yours. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Samrat. To save the time, I will not go into the details because Dr. Hafsa has already put all the keywords, what is essential to convey. I will give my presentation afterwards, after Dr. Mohan's presentation. So I will be very brief. Basically, the TTC, what the call under which this call has been launched, the center of gravity of this particular activity is to foster the uh, collaborations and networks between India and European research community innovators, and not only research collaborations, but we are also want tangible outcomes, technologies which can be adapted in both conditions in Europe as well as India. So standard safety are the core of this particular collaborations. But I will not go into the details because I'm just filling up the shoes of Dr. Mr. Sujit Pillai, who is MNRE's Green Hydrogen Deputy Director. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it because he's in Andaman. So I will give my presentation in later phase. But what Samrat had mentioned, those who had joined recently, that please uh, write your contact details in chat because of the GDPR regulations. We are unable to share the email addresses with anyone. So we encourage people to please put forward your contact details so that the networking and follow up activities will follow after the event. So I will stop it here, Samrat. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Vivek. And We will hear more from you at a later stage where you will explain more in detail the guidelines for the proposal preparation and how to submit it, this joint coordinated call. But also, as Dr. Vivek has mentioned, we strongly encourage you to use this chat function for your own networking purposes. And of course, if you are interested, to contact the presenters afterwards, we are happy, to provide you, their contact details, as we go along after the webinar. However, there is a possibility in the chat. If you press the chat function on the bottom right, there are three dots. And if you click on that on the top, it will say save the chat. So that means that every kind of information which is shared on this chat can be saved individually by each participant. And you can use then those informations, those contact details to reach out to your peers and potential partners who are interested to collaborate with you on this proposal. Okay. So that is just some kind of advice we're giving throughout the webinar, because there is already some interaction happening, which we're very happy to see. And as I just said in the beginning, please use the Q&A if you have very specific questions to the speakers of today's webinar. Now, I would like to move to the next part of our program, which is the presentation on the scope of the call. And here, I'm very happy to welcome Dr. Venkata Mohan, who is the director of CSIR National Environmental Engineering Research Institute. Dr. Mohan, thank you so much for joining us, and we're happy now to listen to your presentation on the scope of the call. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Samrat. Let me share my screen, just a couple of seconds. So, hope you are able to see my presentation full screen. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Excellent.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Warm greetings to all. I would like to thank Dr. Vivek and Dr. Samrat for providing me this opportunity to share scope of this EU-India cooperation call on waste to renewable hydrogen. While working with this call, myself, along with other team associated in coming up with some of the critical points that can go into this cooperation call. So, as you know, this is a Horizon Europe and Ministry of New and Renewable Energy combined call, Horizon CL5 2025. So, the call title, Waste to Renewable Energy. So, which will be closing on 2nd September, where Indian side MNRE is supporting with two projects, each of 45 crores, and European Horizon Europe, 10 billion for two projects with 5 million, 5 billion per project. So, only the project will be funded by two coordinate projects. So, the main scope and objective of the project is to enhance the understanding, optimization, and scale up of efficient renewable hydrogen production, leveraging the combined expertise and resources of India and the European Union to promote innovation, sustainability, and economic growth. This is the main objective on which the scope was built up. So, coming to specifics, this would, as suggested earlier, explained by Dr. Hafsa, this looks into two of the strategies, biological route as well as thermochemical route, to convert biogenic organic waste to hydrogen. That is either we can call it as a renewable hydrogen or green hydrogen. The biogenic waste specifically looks into biomass or municipal waste, sewage sludge, as well as industrial wastewater. The main focus is on carbon to hydrogen yield. That will be maximize the yield carbon to hydrogen, and significant reduction in greenhouse gas emissions to make it net zero or negative carbon footprints, and as well also cost reduction. So the basic thing, as I told, it's only organic waste, which will be non-biogenic. Biogenic will not be considered here. And IPR also forms an important scope in this call. So coming to molecular hydrogen, everybody knows about hydrogen's energy vector. Hydrogen economy is in a big way coming up with respect to the net zero climate objective. And moving towards application, it has significant application in power transport industry, heating and energy storage. the major sustainability with respect to hydrogen, it will not emit any greenhouse gas. As per records, as per some of the reports, by 2050, clean hydrogen, that's green hydrogen, helps to abate near to 7 gigatons of CO2 emissions annually, which also accounts 80 gigaton cumulative CO2 abatement potential by 2050. That is about 11% of emission reduction required to stay within carbon budget of 420 gigatons needs to limit global warming to 1.5 to 1.8 degrees centigrade. So the proposed scope, as already discussed by Dr. Hafsa, their hydrogen production to biological and thermal routes. Coming to biological, there are three routes which I will discuss subsequently in next slides. Thermal also, we have gasification, pyrolysis, combustion, and liquefaction. So these are the main routes. Coming to biogenic hydrogen, that's a molecular hydrogen, biological route. This is sustainable because it will require waste as a feedstock and go with a natural-based solution. There are different routes, as you can see from figure. When we use biogenic waste or biogenic material, when it goes to thermochemical, we call it as again biological hydrogen. But when we go with biological routes specifically, we have different routes. That is anaerobic process, that is kind of dark fermentation process, which is a matured process so far. Photobiological, theoretically, this will produce higher hydrogen compared to dark fermentation in three forms, three different routes: direct photolysis, light fermentation, as well as indirect photolysis. But there are a lot of challenges. The theoretical yield, when compared with anaerobic, photobiological can produce higher theoretical yields of hydrogen, but it has its own limitations which needs to be addressed. When we combine anaerobic and photobiological, we have significant advantage with respect to the yields, but that also needs to be studied. Apart from that, we have enzymatic process, which is at lab scale at present, and a hybrid process, microbial electrolysis, where anaerobic or dark fermentation is extended towards integrating electron flux things with a kind of electrode membrane assembly, which can also produce hydrogen from the fermented waste from dark fermentation. These are basically different routes of biological hydrogen production, which will form scope into the project. So as of biochemical hydrogen or biogenic hydrogen, with respect to Indian context, it has been demonstrated at a couple of places with the funding of MNRE from Indian Institute of Chemical Technology as well as IIT Kharagpur. And we can say that it's at TRL5 level with good yields of hydrogen from biogenic waste. So, but still significant improvements needs to be done with reference to the waste produced from this process and also with respect to the economics. So there are quite many challenges with biological routes of hydrogen production, which can be addressed in this particular call. There are many biological processes, each has its own advantage and disadvantage. Dark fermentation is matured process, which we can say at TRL5 level. But the major disadvantage is feedback inhibition effect with respect to the production of fatty acids during the fermentation process will reduce the efficacy. And there is a continuous change in microbial community, which will significantly go towards methane production when we are not controlling the system. So this is one very important thing. And another thing to practical scale up is fed batch operation at present. We go with continuous operation for scaling up, and techno-economic feasibility will be there. So as I told, this continuous microbial dynamics, which will lead to production of methylogenic bacteria within no time, which is again a challenging thing. So separation of biogas and VFA are also important things which needs to be considered while scaling up, apart from using the residual carbon which is coming from the process streams. These are some of the major challenges of the biological hydrogen production process. I try to list more with reference to different kind of things like low hydrogen yield, feedback inhibition, but all these challenges are needs to be addressed in this call. So, but there are a lot of opportunities. As I told, it is a very mature process, very much similar to anaerobic process with little tweaking of anaerobic process. We can go with dark fermentation for production of hydrogen. but specific conditions are very specific. Bacterial biocatalyst is very specific. The only thing is we can enhance the process by optimizing. And another important thing, we have to go with continuous mode operation. Downstream processing is also very important. Yield is again an important factor that will have a lot of implications as techno-economic thing. And one more thing is metabolic engineering can also be considered to improve the process efficiency as well as by reducing the feedback inhibition. Scale up is again a system which is very much required to take it to next stage. So adding to that one, microbial electrolysis is one of the area coming up in a big way, particularly in India and Europe, where trying to enhance the productivity of dark fermentation process by giving little bit of external energy. So this needs a very important collaboration with both expertise from Europe and India to take it to next stage. So coming to thermal process, which again in the scope in this proposal, there are different process: gasification, pyrolysis, steam reforming, aqueous phase reforming. Thermal process, the process is are gasification and fast pyrolysis. We can say it's at TRL level 7 to 8 with reference to using municipal solid waste, but it also have a lot of challenges which needs to be addressed. The new catalyst is required in order to increase the process. And apart from that, some of the basic things which has been scaled up in India, autothermal reforming or partial oxidation, which has come up to TRL 8 level at present. So the capex and footprints are major issues with respect to thermochemical process, and also the current pyrolysis process, the byproducts which are coming needs to be assessed and also to be integrated in a biorefinery way in order to get a kind of techno-economic feasibility. So there are a lot of opportunities, development of catalyst for thermochemical technology. Novel catalysts are required, and the present catalyst which is available in market needs to be upgraded. Supercritical conditions are one of the area which can increase the process or process intensification be done. So apart from reducing carbon footprints. So feedstock again is another major challenge as well as barrier, because these two routes can take biogenic waste from different sources, like starting from biomass, from agriculture or forestry, or municipal solid waste, which needs to be segregated to biogenic waste, or it can take food waste and industrial waste. So it's a challenge when we want to come up with a unified approach for any of the routes, biological as well as thermochemical routes. When biological route, organic load will have a major role to play, apart from biodegradability of the wastewater. So feedstock availability and supply chain management is one issue which also need to be addressed in this particular proposal with respect to European Union as well as India. And there are a lot of scope. India has huge amount of biogenic waste available throughout the country, which can be looped into this kind of sustainable hydrogen production. So just to glimpse before closing, I would like to say these are some of the things like feedstock utilization and optimization is one area which can be stressed. Apart from thermochemical pathway as well as biochemical pathway, these are the two major pathways or routes we are looking into hydrogen production. And integration circular economy will have a lot of advantage with respect to techno-economic availability, also using the byproducts from coming from both thermal as well as biological process, and scaling and demonstration also very much required, apart from addressing policy and regulatory framework. The final outcomes, the major outcomes expected from this is improved sustainability, safety, and affordability of waste to renewable hydrogen technologies, and expanded technology portfolio. There are many technologies in these two routes which needs to be optimized and has to take up to the scaling up level. So a lot of scope as well as acceptance is there with reference to both India and Europe expertise. And sustainability and safety, as I told in accepted outcomes, life cycle analysis needs to be considered apart from hydrogen safety plan. These two also important. So potential area of joint work, process optimization, both routes, catalytic developments, separation and purification of biogas as well as side streams, which is coming up, techno-economic and sustainable assessment, using AI tools to make process optimization in some of the potential areas. So to conclude, I would try to say this waste to renewable energy call represent a strategic opportunity for EU as well as India cooperation, and which will aims to accelerate renewable hydrogen deployment from biogenic waste, and which needs innovation, sustainability, and safety focus. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mohan, for this very comprehensive presentation, and you have outlined the major important issues and which need to be tackled, and giving a very concise presentation on the scope of this call. And Dr. Mohan, I hope you are able to stay with us for the Q&A session, which we will do after Dr. Vivek's presentation, if that is okay for you. If you could, yeah, thank you so
That's
much.
very
So yeah, so we will have a Q&A moderated session after Dr. Vivek's presentation. So please, if you have any questions to the speakers, to Dr. Mohan or to Dr. Vivek, please send them in the Q&A, and we will try to address them. So without any further delay, I would like to ask Dr. Vivek Dham, now from the EU delegation, to present the guidelines for the proposal preparation and submission of this call. Thank you, Vivek. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Samrat. Could you please confirm if my screen is visible in a full screen?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah. Thank you, Samrat. So, good afternoon and good morning to the European participants. On behalf of European Commission, the EU delegation, I welcome you all to this webinar on networking and information sharing on EU-India call on waste to renewable hydrogen. Your participation means a lot to us. We have almost 350 registrations today, and more than 60 people had already expressed the interest to present the ideas or expertise, but due to the time constraint, we are able to accommodate only 15, 16 presenters. But we may also ask some people, if the time permits, to be ready with the additional presentation. But we have to finish this by 5:30, what we had planned. So before I go into the details, I again inform all the people to please share your contact details in chat so that the networking can happen easily. This I'm going to present about the modalities of application. Those who are familiar with the horizon of the European projects, they might find it familiar, with the procedures and regulations. But those who are not, it will be very important. I may repeat few times the same things, because that is the core of the eligibility criteria. So this is a joint presentation from the EU and the MNRE side. So unfortunately, Mr. Sujit Pillai unable to join us, but I'm representing and presenting his slides as well. So this is the structure of my presentation, where I will be talking about the call details, eligibility, funding details, how to find a consortium, budget preparation, submission of proposals, and evaluation in next 15-20 minutes. So I will not go again into the details, because Dr. Hapsa has already given a gist about the TTC. This is a strategic partnership which has been elevated in 2022 by Prime Minister Modi and the EC and the European Commission President van der Leyen. It is the second Trade and Technology Council, which also reflects the deepening geopolitical and economic alignment with the EU and India. So this is basically to have promote a secure, sustainable, and inclusive economic development in a democratically value countries, which is India, which is considered as one of the major partners for the EU. So this particular call is published under the Trade and Technology Council Working Group 2 on clean and green technologies. So in this particular call from European side, the funding is available through Horizon Europe program. So we are committing 10 million euros for this particular call. From the government of India side, the Ministry of Renewable Energy is committing 90 crores rupees for the Indian partners. So as Dr. Mohan already explained quite explicitly, I will not go into the details, but what we are looking is a sustainable renewable hydrogen from biogenic waste without recycling potentials from agriculture or forest, biogenic part or municipal waste. So all kinds of substrate can be utilized. So this is the call details. So I'm trying to summarize all the points in a one slide. So the first key important point is topic identification number. That is Horizon CL5 25202 D208 is the code for this particular call. So if you just copy paste this particular call number in Google, you will find all the details about the scope and everything. So this is an research and innovation action from the European side. That means the grant, this is 100% grant in aid for all the participants. So this is a single stage submission. From the European side, the deadline for submission of proposal is 2nd of September 2025 at 17 hours Brussels time. So there is we gave 4 or 5 days time lag for the Indian submission, because the part B, the scientific part of the proposal, will be a shared document. So the European coordinator will share this particular document with Indian coordinator. I will come to that details. So that we had kept 4 or 5 days delay for submission, so that the Indian submission is on 5th of September. So the budget again for EU side 10 million. We estimate that around 5 million per project for a European consortium will be sufficient to address this challenge. So the 90 million is again 90 crore is again divided like 40-45 crores per project. That is the MNRE's assessment that it could address this particular challenge and can be allocated to the Indian side of consortium. As Dr. Mohan already mentioned, we anticipate to fund around 2 projects. So the funding is substantial. We are looking for an TRL 4-5 or even higher, but this is what the estimated at this time. But higher TRL would be encouraged. But as per the call text, the TRL 5 to be reached at the end of the projects. So the European Commission specific topic conditions, it is already written into the call text. So there should be one work package which specifically dedicate on coordination activities between European and Indian side. So that also underlines the working together nature, the joint nature of the actions which you will be developing in your proposal. So the Indian entities can participate as an associated partner in particular this particular call. So the Europeans are open. The Horizon condition doesn't explicitly say the Indian participation is needed, but as the nature of the call, it is not also it doesn't restrict Indian participation. So Indian entities can participate along with the consortium of European as an associated partner. From the Ministry of Renewable side, we are trying to reflect the same eligibility criteria, because the European Horizon proposal requires minimum 3 European partners. So the Indian also consortium should reflect minimum 3 partners from India. So 3 Indian independent entities from India and 3 partners from 3 European countries is required, and TRL levels 5 could be reached at the time of end of the project. So where do you find this the call text? So this is the base, most reliable and official website where you should refer the call text. So it is available on the Horizon Europe funding and tender portal. If you, I am already given, I will share this presentation with you people. So if you put the call text number, the call ID number, you will get the full information about the scope, the impact, what has been presented by Dr. Mohan in his presentation at this particular site. Similarly, the same call text, exactly the same call text has been published by the Ministry of Renewable Energy on their website. So this information is available at the research MNRE R&D portal, as well as the MNRE main ministry's web page as well. So they had developed quite a detailed guidelines. I urge all the Indian as well as the Europeans to go through that. So that will be beneficial for understanding the legal as well as eligibility criteria. So both the sides had specifically mentioned these eligibility conditions, which I already explained, that one work package should include the coordination between Indian and European side. This particular Indian side consortium on European side also should consider participation of India. The India consortium should include minimum three Indian and three European into the consortium. So this is a little bit in detail what the Horizon eligibility conditions means. The three legal entities from Europe is mandatory to qualify to be admissible proposal to pass the admissibility conditions. So out of these three legal entities, one legal entity should be independent legal entity established in European member state, and the two other legal entities could be from member state or associated country. One work package should have a coordination between Indian and European. Indian entities can participate as an associated partner. The European side also, the Horizon also specifically mentioned about the gender equality plan, because this is also considered at the time of evaluation. So please pay attention about this gender equality plan while formulating your proposal. Uh, so the MNRE, as I'm going to repeat this because this is a basic requirement and you may find it repetitive, but I wanted to make it explicitly clear that you need to have three partners from Europe and three partners from India. You can have more partners. There is no limit, but on an average, the Horizon proposal includes 10 to 15 consortium members from both the sides. So eight or seven members from Europe or eight or seven members from India. For it could be more as well, but it's all depend on the scope of the projects. It could be six as well. There is no restriction, but the minimum requirement is 3+3. Then the part B, that is the scientific or technical part of this particular proposal, should be jointly developed. That is the main requirement, because the evaluation will happen jointly. So the experts has to see the Indian and European proposals together. So this particular part B of the Horizon proposal should be jointly developed, and all the information what you had planned to work together should be included in this particular scientific proposal. TRL 5, the duration could be either 36 months or 48 months. Again, it has to be decided by the consortium. The funders are not defining any duration of the project, but either you propose 36 or 48 months is all depend on the EU and Indian consortium members to decide. All this information is explicitly mentioned and presented in the MNRE guidelines, which is available on their website. So as I mentioned, and Dr. Mohanar already mentioned, that the TRL level is expected to be achieved at the end of the project, but you can have a higher TRL, there is no issue. But this is what has been expected. These TRL level definitions are available also on the website of MNRE as well as the Horizon Europe websites. Who can participate? Basically, from Europe, any entity who has the scientific capacity, innovation capacity can participate. It could be industry, it could be SMEs, it could be startups, research organizations, universities, non-governmental organizations, NGOs, basically those people who has a capacity and skills to address this particular challenge are eligible from European side. Similarly, the government of India has also put the same conditions that any entity, it could be central state government organization, could be public or private academic or research institute, can participate. National or state funded R&D labs, scientific R&D performing industries, PSUs, startups, public authorities, NGOs. So basically, any entity who has a capacity to address this particular challenge can be eligible participant into the proposal. Again, I'm repeating the same thing, but three European partners, either from the European member states, so these are 27 member state and associated country. In my next slide, I will uh, give you the details what are the 27 member state and associated countries. In from Indian side, the three legal entities should be independent, and you can have more entities from India. There is no restriction. Eligibility conditions mandatory for validation of consortium from MNRE side, so 3 plus 3 is required. So these are the list of European countries from where you can find the partners or could, be a potential consortium members. So there are 27 European member states. So most of the European member state has a very strong bilateral collaborations with India. It could be Germany, France, Belgium, you name it. These are the main countries, and India has very strong bilateral scientific and academic collaborations. So you can find any partners from these 27 countries. In addition to that, there are 19 countries which are associated with Horizon Europe program. So they also qualify as an equal member state status. So the funding is also available for the entities from this particular call. So basically, Norway um, and UK are one of the prominent members in associated country which has a strong collaborations with India. So those can be also included, but you can find any partners. And there is also an association transition agreement right now with South Korea as well as Switzerland. So total become 21 countries. So you have 27 plus 21 countries to find three partners from these countries. That is an big opportunities to find different partners at different geographical conditions. So the consortium will look like the three legal entities from three European member state or associated country, out of which one should be member state and three independent entities from India. In addition to that, you can add more entities from same country or different countries from Europe as well as from India. It is all open and up to the consortium to decide. Uh, Partners should be multidisciplinary, cross-sectoral, cross-border participation is highly encouraged. Gender balance needs to be encouraged and needs to be addressed during the proposal formation. So, as mentioned, there will be one coordinator which is dealing with the entire submission, communication with the European side from the European that we call a European coordinator. And similarly, the consortium could also find one Indian coordinator who can communicate and submit the entire proposal to MNRE on behalf of Indian, side. So this is the composition of this particular um, consortiums. The funding for MNRE, I will give you the bit of details, but it has been given very detailed information. So jointly developed proposal, that is part B, should be mandatory requirement from both the sides. It should be submitted to both European as well as the Indian side, same proposals, because the evaluation is joint. The positively evaluated proposals by peer review independent agency will conduct this particular evaluation. So there is no alteration in ranking afterwards. So it will be a joint decision. The Indian will be participating as an associated partner, so they don't have to sign the European grant agreement. Similarly, the Europeans will not sign any government of India's agreement. So scientific or technical proposal is the only joint task, and the financial task, the financial agreements will be different from the European and Indian side. Again, the funding is for 5 million for European side, and for 40 to 45 crores for Indian side is available, and duration 36 to 48 months. So who is eligible for funding? Again, all entities which I already mentioned are eligible for this. but make sure the public or private academic institutions already have some certain government of India's regulations from already approved. Most of the institute, public and private institute, are following public finance management system, that is PFMS system. It is mandatory and obligatory to receive the any government funding. Similarly, public authorities, associations without economic activities, NGOs, are eligible to participate and receive the funding. So those organizations should be having at least a 3 years scientific experience, should be registered under the Darpan portal, which is Niti Aayog's certification portal. Again, the industry is highly encouraged. That is core part of, because we are looking into a TRL 5 level or even higher. So, industry, public sector undertaking industries or startups are highly encouraged. So, if Indian industry is participating, make sure the company, as per the, it is Indian Company Act, that is 51% shareholding is with the ownership with the Indian citizen. Again, the startup should be registered in the Indian system as per the Company Act. They need to also produce a DSIR certification for R&D recognition. So these are all quite nicely explained at the MNRE's website. But in short, the funding is available for public as well as private sector. Again, the funding rate, if you ask me, that it is a grant in aid for both the sides. So 100% funding is available in grant in aid for the public institutions from India. It could be academic institutions or research organizations, research labs, or state-funded R&D labs. Everybody can qualify under 100% funding. MNREs will pay the funds in Indian rupees. So these are the standard eligibility cost: manpower, consumables, travels, contingency. I will not go into the details, but these are the very standard R&D project eligibility costs are available that you can program in your budget details. So this is the percentage of funding which is provided by the MNRE. So public universities and research organizations will get 100% funding. Private universities and research organizations will get 80%. Again, startups, public authorities, large enterprise, medium enterprise, small enterprise will get 80% of funding from the MNRE, and associations without economic activities, NGOs, can get up to 50% of funding from MNRE. For the European side, it is a grant in aid. It will be qualified under the research and innovation action. So the funding is available for all the participant as an 100% funding rate. Admissibility conditions for the Horizon. The submission is electronic. It is to be submitted on time, that is on or before 2nd of September. Paper submission is not allowed. The European should use a specific templates which are provided under the Horizon portal. For the part B, that is the scientific part, which will be jointly developed by the Indian and European side, it has a page limit of 45 pages. So make sure this particular page limit and formats are respected. This is the admissibility condition. Again, from the MNRE side, jointly developed proposal from EU and India should be submitted to the part B, which has been submitted to Horizon. The same proposal should be submitted to the MNRE, in addition to the financial documents what the MNRE had asked for Indian partners. So basically, the Indians will not give all the details of financial requirements to the Europeans. Similarly, the Europeans will not share it. It is only the amount, global amount, which each partner will be requested, will be reflected in the table. I will come to that part later on. But the submission is mandatory on given date, that is the 5th of September. The Indian coordinator is supposed to submit all these documents, part B and the financial annexes, which has been uploaded and available on their website. Again, Dr. Mohan explicitly mentioned about the IPR, because these are high TRL levels. So I urge both the European and Indian partners to discuss and agree on the IPR sharing at the upfront, so that later on there should not be any problems. So awareness of background information, knowledge management, all this needs to be discussed at the time of proposal development. Neither the European Commission or the MNRE will intervene in IPR sharing. So this has to be sorted out and discussed between the consortium members. Application form from the European Horizon proposal, you will find two parts. One is part A, which is web-based information, and part B, which is a download format where the scientific proposal is developed, which must be jointly developed by Indian and European side. Again, there are different annexes for the European partners which are available on Horizon side that needs to be filled up by the European consortium members. Part B is more scientific part where both the sides will develop jointly with a page limit of 45 pages. Um, Again, this is also very important information that the AI intervention is not prohibited. You can use the different AI, but it is up to the applicants, up to the consortium, that verification and accuracy and validation of approach should be with you. We will not restrict that, but the authenticity and of this particular use of document, the tools should be remain with the consortium to decide. Provide the list of source which you will be using this type of tools. The consortium also have a potential of plagiarism again that needs to be addressed upfront. So um, I say that it is free, but it is up to you to decide how much you want to use it. But then you also need to declare this use of AI tools at the time in the proposal. So it should be transparent way of informing the evaluators. From the European side, you will see there are different types of beneficiaries. The EU consortium members will be considered as the European beneficiaries. They will sign the European grant agreement as per the Horizon rules. The Indians will be participating as an associated partners. They don't sign a European grant agreement, but they will be associated with that. So this is what the part A of Horizon proposal. The European coordinator needs to mention minimum three Indian partners. They don't. The Indian partners need not to give all the estimate eligibility cost. They need to give a lump sum amount. That is where I just put the red square to understand that this is the only column. The lump sum amount of the Indian partners should be mentioned, so that the evaluators will understand the total cost of the project, what has been requested by the Europeans and Indian. That is also an essential for the evaluators to understand the overall estimate of this particular project. The submission of European Horizon portal will be done by the European coordinator. So part A and part B will be submitted by the European consortium to Horizon portal on given date. If you roll down the call scope, there is a submission button where the people. So I urge again, the coordinator should be well aware, well informed about the European, procedures. That is much easy and less hassle-free for the newcomers. So identify a partner who has already been partner into Horizon proposal. The same proposal, that is part B of the proposal, should be shared with the Indian coordinator. So the Indian coordinator should submit the part B and the MNRE's financial document on MNRE's portal. This particular submission will be available on MNRE's R&D portal. If you go there, you need to register and you need to upload the consolidated part A and part B on as a PDF format at this particular website. You will see it is quite easily and nicely done. Again, as I mentioned, the evaluation will be done jointly. So it is a joint evaluation. There is evaluation done as per the Horizon evaluation criteria, that is excellence, impact, and implementation. It has a different weightage. Excellence has a 50%, 20, and 30. That is the percentage of weightage, and it is available on the website as well. So the timeline for evaluation and submission. So the proposal preparation, you will take, the call will be open till 2nd of September. The evaluation till the grant agreement, we are bound legally from the European side to complete the entire process within the 8 months. So we will have to finish the evaluation within 3 to 5 months period, and the grant agreement later on. So this is legally bind, and Indian side also had committed the same timeline. So this is what the timeline agreed from both the sides, that the 2nd of September, the call closure from the Indian side, 5th of September, estimated, call results you can expect either November, December 2025. It will be communicated to the coordinator of the project, so the entire consortium can later access the evaluation summary, whether you successful or not successful. All the evaluation summary reports are shared with all coordinators systematically. The grant signing should be concluded by April, May, and the projects could start from May, June 2026. So this is what the timeline has been agreed from both the sides. Again, finding a partner is one of the most toughest tasks, and today's event is addressing that specific challenge, that we are trying to bring European and Indian together so that you can start discussing, formulating the proposals together. But there are also a lot of events happening online on the European side. You can also participate. These are the very good tools that you can participate and make yourself visible. Again, if you go onto the web page of this particular call on Horizon, there is also a lot of people had already expressed their interest as a partner search tool. So you can also register your interest on the website specific to this particular call also. You need to go onto the website of this particular call, and you will find on Horizon portal that a lot of people had already expressed their interest. They are looking either for partners or available to be a partner. Again, this hand-holding will be needed from the European coordinator. The Indian partners needs to have a EU account, login account, which is a very standard and easy procedure. To access all these applications and the details, you need to have a EU login. And I had given the link. It is a straightforward procedure, but that is mandatory because all our system is electronic base. Registration of organizations, I think most of the Indian organizations are registered, but the participation identification code is needed if you are associated partner. If not, the procedure is available, the information is available online, and it is done quite quickly. So before you registered, you can also search whether your organization is already having the PIC number. That is easily available, but the European coordinator or consortium members will be able to help you out with this PIC registration. Again, this is one of the most important document. As it is a coordinated call, so the consortium agreement is the only document where European and Indian consortium members will be committing the work they had formulated in Part B of the proposal. So after the project selection, you are encouraged, and it is mandatory basically that this particular winning consortium should have a consortium or coordination agreement signed within all the partners, so that a copy could be provided to the respective funding agency. It could be within 3 to 6 months after the selection of the projects. So we had already given the templates for the consortium or coordination agreement. You are free to design this. These are just the guidelines. So it is up to the consortium to formulate the consortium agreement as per their understanding and agreement. All this information sharing these links with you, so it will be available on website. So this is the contact details of Ministry of Renewable Energy, but we are also available to help you out. And I will stop it here for any questions you may have. Over to you, Samrat. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Vivek, for a very comprehensive and detailed presentation about the different criteria and the modalities of this call, especially for the funding side. I think there are quite a few questions. I think I have looked into them, and some of them are very technical, and some of them are more broader and general, regarding the consortium and the eligibility for funding and the terminology of associated partner and so forth. So I was thinking, Vivek, you could also look into those more technical ones. In the meantime, I will just, start with some general questions, and also I invite our panelists, if they have some questions, please, you can now ask them as well. And of course, our attendees, if they want to directly ask questions, you can raise your hands, and we will allow you to speak directly to the presenters. I will also add Dr. Mohan to the screen. And so there, like we start with one question, if aquatic biomass will be also part of this call.
Yes, aquatic biomass is also part of this call, but availability of feedstock needs to be assessed because it should, when we want to take it to translation level, the availability will matter much when we look into the techno-economic analysis.
Okay. I see also there are the questions about the funding for associated partners. I think maybe Vivek, you already outlined it, but maybe you could clarify more how Indian partner will be considered in this proposal, and is it there are these terminologies of beneficiaries, associated partner. There's also the question that for this call one needs 3 European partners, but that's a general rule for Horizon Europe. It's not only limited to this call. So maybe I think you could maybe just recap it a bit
Yeah.
for the audience.
Yeah, so basically, is very straightforward. The European funding is for European partners, and the Indian funding is for Indian partners. So the only part which they commonly work is a scientific part. So in order to reflect the Indians into European portal, they are not going to, the Indian entities are not going to sign a grant agreement. That is why they are called as associated partner, but the Indians will be funded by MNRE if they are selected. So the associated partners budget will be explicitly given in a lump sum amount. So the evaluators will understand what is the amount has been requested by Europeans and Indian, so that they are overall understand how much is the cost of this particular project. What was the second question? There is also a question that one of the entities also having registered in Europe and
And
India,
India,
and
right.
yeah, and they. So it is up to you to decide which funding you want to access. If you are legally registered in India as well as legally in Europe, whether you are going for a European context or Indian context, because it is the choice of you to decide whether you want to be a partner funding recipient from the Horizon or funding recipient from the MNRE, but you cannot apply funding from EU as well as the India. That will be again a conflict.
Yeah, thank you so much, Vivek. I think just to highlight that this particular call text is mentioning that Indian partners are required, right? So this call is especially flagged for Indian institutions to be part of the consortium.
Yeah, so basically this particular call mentioned coordinated call. So the
Mm,
in European guidelines doesn't explicitly mention the requirement of Indian as such, but it explicitly mentioned the coordination of European consortium with the Indian consortium. So by de facto, it the coordination will happen only if they are together. And
mm,
secondly, this
yes,
is the evaluation is done jointly. So the Indians are not going to evaluate separately. So at the end of the
okay,
day, uh,
right.
the scientific proposal has to be same, so that both the sides, the experts from Europe and India, have a same access of the document.
Yeah, yeah. And another question, can startups, SME, NGOs participate, right, as consortium
Yes,
partners?
yeah. They can participate. MNRE give 100%, no, MNRE gives 80% for the startups, industry, NGOs, it is 50%. From the European side, it is a research and innovation action. So any entity participating from European side, it is 100% funding grant in aid.
And is industrial partner mandatory for this call?
It is basically because the entire technology, what Dr. Mohan was mentioning, the industry is one of the core members should be there, because without the industry participation, it will not reach to an desired TRL level. Although it is a waste to green hydrogen is still in nascent stage, but as he had already indicated, there are certain areas where the technology interventions are high, and the industry is the driving factor for this particular call. So is not either the academics or industry, is nobody said it is mandatory. So any entity who has a capacity to deliver on this particular challenge is highly encouraged to be part of it.
Mhm. And Vivek, there's an interesting question from one of our participants and also Dr. Watt. The industrial demonstration, has it to take place in Europe, India, or both places?
See, as the demonstration of each cost, if it is a demonstration in pilot site in Europe, the European should factor that funding in Horizon grants. And if the Indian pilot is in India, so it should be taken care by the MNRE. So make sure there is no um, tech transfer funding available for that kind of a thing, or licensing. So here the technology co-development adaptation is highly encouraged. Okay, so there
Mm,
are two pilots, then each side should make the consortium should make a specific grant requirement in respective funding agency. So at the end of the day, Indian money is with Indian consortium, European money is with European consortium.
mm. And can another non-associated country, like from Indonesia, participate in this joint endeavor? Like, can they be part of the consortium?
They can, but the scope of the entire call is between EU and India. So I
Exactly.
don't know how we are going to fit those into the non European countries' interest in it. But that doesn't limit as such in participation. They can participate, but at the end of the day, it's consortium to decide how their role and their activities to be fit into that. But again, the core of this particular call is EU India TTC call. So that the center of gravity is between the two sides.
Mhm, mhm. I see that we also have some hands raised. Maybe we can allow also
Yeah,
our
yeah.
participants to directly. I think the first is Surabi. Hello. Would you like to ask your question directly? Or we have also another Debayan.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, I can
Hi.
ask the question. So
Yes.
I was just asking the startups which have their own R&D going on and incubated with an incubator can produce the DSIR certificate from incubator, or they have to have their own DSIR?
No, no, DSR is very standard from the CSR organization. Dr. Mohan will be better placed to highlight this. But the certification, if it is they are incubators and they are registered startup entity, it should be okay.
To add to what
Thanks.
Dr.
Thanks.
Vivek, yeah, okay.
No, no, but Dr. Mohan, please go ahead, because it is more to do with the Indian legal status. So I will count on your reply then.
Yeah, so to add to what Dr. Vivek told, na, so you can look into MNRE proposal where they will define what kind of certificate from where we have to take. So that will help you to procure and submit the requisite thing.
Okay, sir.
Thank you so much. I think there's another question to I think for Dr. Mohan maybe to answer. If dark fermentation and gasification was quoted as already TRL 5 or above, can these two components still be included in the proposal under this call?
Yes, Actually, dark fermentation with a kind of fed batch mode, it is at 5 TRL level, but when we want to go with continuous mode operation, I think there is no much of work done in this regard. So then TRL, it will not mean with TRL 5. So it will be somewhere between TRL 1 or 2 right now. So that can be taken up to TRL 5. So no technology so far in biological route. We can say clearly that it's a TRL 5 except dark fur. So that is couple of scale-ups has been done. So TRL 5 will be the good baseline to be considered to apply for this proposal. And thermochemical routes, couple of things are also at pilot scale. We might be knowing a few of the success stories, but still a lot to be done to get up to about TRL level or TRL 5 level. So there is significant innovation required.
Okay, thank you so much. We can take a few more questions. We have also in the audience some hands raised. I see Mr. Anshuman. Would you like to, or?
Yes, sir. There is a question I need to ask. What could be the criteria for selecting an industry in the Indian consortium? Any specific criteria is defined?
No, there is, specific entity selection is not a criteria for project selection. Okay, so it is the whole proposal. You can bring different sectors people together. The evaluation is based on the how the given challenge has been addressed by different stakeholders. So uh, eligibility is one condition and the selection, but the selection is of the proposal, and the selection of the eligibility is entirely different. So if you fulfill the industrial requirement, what MNRE had mentioned, then you are automatically qualified to be part of the consortium member. I hope
So, so, so how do I decide is there any criteria by which I can decide that I want to bring in particular company in my consortium?
So
Does
no,
the MNRE has some guidelines about it?
yeah, it's already mentioned because it is any Indian. It could be SME, it could be big or a public sector company. The shareholding should be 51% minimum
Yes.
as per the Company Act. So if they are working already in a hydrogen sector, obviously they qualify to be part of this consortium member.
So we can directly select a partner, some say particular industry, and put it in a project if they agree to it.
Yeah, and also please go through the industry guidelines what
Okay.
MNRE had mentioned, so that
Okay,
you
sir.
can also include those people.
Okay, sir. Okay,
So
thank you,
at
sir.
the end of the day, it is European and Indian consortium will see what kind of a balance they want, what kind of expertise they want together, because it is not only Indians and the only Europeans. It has to gel with each other and decide how you going to coordinate each other's activity and can benefit each other's presence.
Yeah, actually, sir, the reason I asked this question was with reference to why I am selecting a particular company. Yeah, it is agreed that that company is having some background in a particular field.
Yeah.
That's why I'm selecting it. But it should not
Yes,
happen
yes.
that okay, you have given a chance only to a particular company. That
No, it is an open call. Then it is a national open call from Indian side. So it is not restricted to any specific institutions, industry. It is a open competition. So there is no reservation as such, only this category or identified companies. So it is a real competitive call for proposals.
okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I see another question about if waste generated from the leather industry can be considered for this project.
yes, so definitely if it's biogenic waste, so it can be considered for when it is amenable for anaerobic digestion. We can always consider it for hydrogen production also when you are going for dark fermentation. But photobiological, it may not work. If you have solid
Mm,
waste, which is a biogenic in nature, you can also try for thermochemical.
mm. There's also a question if the scope of this call is restricted to hydrogen, or can green transportation fuel be considered to be within the scope?
So basically, this call is for hydrogen production, but any side streams that are so as application is not main criteria here. hydrogen, renewable hydrogen or green hydrogen is a major product. If apart from that you are getting any other byproducts, side streams, that will add to the advantage of the whole process. So that will also help. But hydrogen, if whatever is the application, hydrogen is important. That's the final product.
Hmm. Okay. Let's see. Let's take two more questions from the audience. Some live questions. I see that in the chat we had Nuria Ferrero been very active. Nuria Ferrero Lorenzo, would you like to just ask your questions directly? Because I see you have quite some questions related to the issue of the Indian partner. So if yes, then we could please talk. Otherwise, we will try to address these questions in later on during the webinar. Okay. Then I see we have also Mr. Anshuman. Would you like to ask? Okay.
Anshuman, I think he already asked.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, he did. Okay, sorry for that. Then we have Mr. Harish Chandra Singh. I think we can ask him if he likes to ask. Okay. Oh, seems like people are. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much for this opportunity. I was wondering if you can share a comment on, let's say, specific partner who is actually doing, let's say, some kind of techno-economical analysis for the processes that we are planning to scale up in India and then EU. So from where he or that particular partner institution will be getting funding? Is it like from he can share the fund from both India and EU, or he will be specified for only one side? Because it's a kind of let's say particular analysis that can be useful for both side. So how exactly it can be distributed? Like, is there any specific comment on this?
No, no. See, if you are an Indian entity, it will be Indian funding. If you are a European registered entity, it will be European funding. Is very clear.
Okay,
So
even if
if
their
you
work is useful for both side.
yeah, because at the end of the day, it is not European side or Indian side. It is a one project. You're talking about an consolidated efforts, collaborative work. So it cannot be distinguished that I am doing your work, so you should also give me the money. It is the co-creation, knowledge sharing, entire process is there. The only difference, the legal entity registered in India should have MNREs, requirement of funding, and European is doing a European side funding. So there should not be an confusion about the grant, because you are going to sign one grant agreement with a specific funding agency, so you will be eligible only for that specific funding agency's grant. And sir, you want to comment, Mohan sir, about the socio-economic or the economic, techno-economic aspect? Is that part of it, or how does it talk about the scope of the work?
Yeah, actually, techno-economic analysis, life cycle analysis, as well as socio-economic will make an important work packages in proposal, which will have potential advantage when we want to add these things. But as you told, Dr. Vivek told that when the work package is dealt by European Union, the funding will be associated with European Union. But when that work package looks from Indian side, then Indian side funding will be there and they will be part of the consortium. Is it okay, Dr. Vivek?
Yes, yes.
Mm.
Because at the end of the day, the travel, all these things has been, if you are visiting Europe, you will budget the visit of Europe in MNRE's budget. So similarly, the European visiting India, they will be budgeting in the European budget. So
Yes.
there is no as such restriction. The if you is all based on the legal entities thing. If you are based where in India and Europe, so the rules applies to that specific funding agency.
And to add to that, again, if one of the partner who is working on LCA or technical analysis, either from India or Europe, they can contribute to whole of the project.
Yes,
So
exactly, exactly.
Okay, thank you so much for answering it. And I think I see Dr. Swati Kumari is also one of our presenters today. She has raised her hand, and could you kindly we take her as the last question for today's
Yeah,
Q&A. Dr. Swati, thank you
I
so
have a
much.
very quick question, and then it's about like the work package in the EU consortium. There is an essential requirement to dedicate one work package towards the coordinated activities. So that coordinated activities, because they are going to be with the Indian consortium, definitely. So the financing provision will come only from the Horizon funding, right?
No, 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 no. See, ma'am, this
That's
is
if that's my
yeah,
understanding.
no. So see the project, like there are six work packages, no? So
Mhm.
obviously in
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 work package, the Indians could be co-investigators. There is no as such restriction. Okay, what the EU said that when you are developing a proposal, make sure you are coordinating yourself. So either you are a co-investor or a project a work package leader is up to you. So the only thing the funders wants to know that the specific activity has been done in coordination with each other. So one of the work package should explicitly mention that the Indian PIs which are in the lead of work package and European work are how you are going to coordinate with each other. That is a small exercise of that, but that should not be the core of the entire thing. The core is how do you address the challenge, and nobody is
Yeah, definitely.
restricting
So, yeah. So,
your participation
yeah.
in European co-investigator, and the European should be co-investor in the other work packages.
No, my point is like, suppose as a coordination activity, it need to be reflected in the part B, scientific project only.
Yes, yes.
And then in a separate work package, we have to like argue our case that this is how we are doing these coordination activities. That's it. They don't have to be like, for instance, like when these organizing conferences, joint conferences is one part of the coordination activities. Those are not part of requirement for these.
No, no. See, the whole why the funders initially thought the initial when we were discussing, they were never discuss
Mhm.
about a joint evaluation. So later on, the both the funds agreed for a joint evaluation. So now, as it is a joint evaluation, we anticipate that both the sides, whatever they are going to develop, it has to be co-developed and co-coordinated. So the entire part B is a co-coordinated thing. So now there is a requirement because this agreement was done later phase. So you need to explicitly somewhere mention that work package 1, 2, 3 and one package 4, 5, 6 are coordinated among these partners, and that needs to be
Okay.
fulfill the
Yeah.
criteria. But you
Yeah.
should not put a lot of energy and this thing, because now you are
Mhm.
developing a joint proposal
Yeah.
basically.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much to Dr. Mohan and Dr. Vivek for giving precise answers to the questions we could address right now. I see that there are many more questions, and we're very happy to see that this is very interactive today. Please, we will try to look through the questions while the presentations are on, and Dr. Vivek and Dr. Mohan, if possible, if you could also look into some of the questions. But we also encourage you to send us your inquiries, and we will try to guide you and direct you to the right instance to answer and help you with your questions. But now we move forward to the next part of today's event, which is the flash presentations. And here we have now our scientists, both from Europe and India, who are willing to present their expertise and their idea and reach out to the participants today and see if there is an interest in collaborating. Our first presenter is Dr. Mose Rossi from the Marche Polytechnic University, Italy. Um, Dr. Rossi, thank you so much for joining. Could you share your slides from your end?
Yes. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you
So
so much. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for the presentation and for this kind invitation. I really appreciate it. I'll try to be as much as possible consistent in 5 minutes presentation. So, considering the general title that has been given to my presentation, I would like to focus, of course, on the activities that our university, Marche Polytechnic University, does, and specifically my research group. So, this is the key points of the activities that our research group in fluid machines and energy systems at our department at UniVPM does. Basically, what we could offer in terms of also potential partners in project code are related to multi-vector energy systems modeling, and specifically in a couple of 3 years up to now, we have also started to implement hydrogen technologies, also with the specific simulation of hydrogen production, storage, and usage technologies. We are also quite active in the UN national project activities related to both the energy side and hydrogen side. And also within this project and also considering our research activities, we currently have two labs in our institution. One lab is the hydrogen lab, which is consisted of alkaline electrolyzer of 23 kilowatt, metal hydrate storage, two tanks with 3,000 liter per each at standard condition, and 1 kilowatt of PEM fuel cell. And then we have a second life batteries that is composed of 2 3 kilowatt peak battery with a capacity of 5 kilowatt hour per each battery, Li-ion based. So when dealing with multi-energy systems, as you can see here, this figure, basically you have to deal with electricity, thermal energy, cooling energy, water, and so on. So the idea is our research is basically focused on using a framework, basically Python-based, where giving the input of each technology, we are going to optimize based on the economic or environmental perspective. So this is also the main our activities and crucial for having, let's say, these technologies working well and together jointly within a energy hub context, local energy community context, and so on. For example, one of the latest research in which we are working on is the optimal management of the energy flows within an agricultural enterprise, where biogas is produced, and then there is a CHP unit that provide electricity and thermal energy within the facilities of that company, of the enterprise, but also exchange mainly electricity with the market, with the grid. So here, considering CHP, PV, and load, we define the optimal sizes of each technologies, as well as providing some scenario by implementing electric and thermal storages. This is done with Calliope, which is a Python-based framework. Regarding hydrogen, we do the modeling of specific technologies as a black box input and output we obtain. And in this case, you can see on the left, for example, the polarization curve we obtain with our developed model of an alkaline electrolyzer that has been validated with the technology that we have in our lab. And we have done the same with another type of electrolyzer, AEM. The idea behind this research is just to customize and, let's say, try to find out the optimal kinetic parameters that best fit the experimental results that you see by points, in order to find the exact values of these parameters that are difficult to retrieve for any kind of manufacturers, and even from the scientific literature that provides a wide range of numerical values. Regarding the European project where we worked, basically are here 3 projects based on the optimization of multi-energy carriers. And we see news grids, interface, and a neuron. And if you have to go further into details, I left the link that you can access. And regarding the national project, we are also involved in the terms of energy modeling and optimal planning of, for example, local energy communities, but also on hydrogen. And basically, we are working in the last two within the and especially the last one, we collaborate actively with the ENEA, with our National Research Center on the research regarding hydrogen technologies research. And while Greta is, let's say, a more applied project where we do modeling, of course, of the hydrogen technology that will be put in place in the demo site. Just to provide an overview of the labs, here before I just explain you the typology and the size of the equipment, here you can have a look better on what I was talking about before. And for the battery side, we have this, let's say, work in progress, but still operative lab where we have the inverter that give command to the battery in terms of charge and discharge connected to the grid, also electrolyzer that I showed you before. And then we can, of course, doing some scenario with controllable load and also control the input energy coming from the grid to the inverter and then to the inverter to the battery. The battery, as well as the hydrogen lab, works on island mode. I mean, on island, like we do not inject electricity or hydrogen to any other off takers. It's just, let's say, consumed locally, and the battery in discharge and charge is done based on input from energy grid and output as load variation. To wrap up, let's say the aim of this presentation was to explain what we do here, what we could propose in terms of research group activities, and also here you can find our group, which consists of one full professor, two associate professors, one assistant professor, me, postdoc fellow, and PhD students, and other collaborators. Thank you, and sorry if I overcome the time limit.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rossi. A very good start to this flash presentation from your side. Thank you for outlining the expertise your research group has and how you could contribute to a proposal, and also, the very interesting work you've been already doing in the field of hydrogen. And with that, we move to our next presenter, which is Dr. Shilpa Kumari from the CSIR National Environmental Engineering Research Institute in India. Dr. Shilpa, I hope you are with us and ready to present. Yes, Dr. Shilpa, can you hear us?
Hello. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I'm here.
Yeah, hi. Hi, ma'am. Could
Should
you
I
share
share
your
my
slide?
presentation? Yeah.
Yes, please, ma'am, if that's possible.
I hope it's visible.
Yeah, ma'am, it's visible. Perfect. Please.
So, first, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to present the work which has been carried out at our institute. So, basically, myself, Dr. Shilpa, and I'm working at CSIR National Environmental Engineering Research Institute, and from the Climate Change and Green Materials Division. And when it comes to present call, I am basically focused on techno-commercial and feasibility studies of donor-assisted hydrogen generation using the wastewater. So I just want to give uh, a brief overview about what we have already done. So basically, I was working on one of the project funded by DST under HFC call, and we have a sister lab of CSIR where we have worked together and we have achieved one of the target, which was the HER, that is hydrogen evaluation rate of 14 liter per minute. So basically, we have already done it for the saline water electrolysis. So giving that in the background, I just wanted to highlight that we have already the expertise when it comes to the hydrogen generation. So I'll just quickly go through one of the data which I found very interesting, that when it comes to India and EU particularly, we can see here that when it comes to non-renewable energy sources for the electricity generation, in EU it is almost 55%, it is non-renewable. And for the India, it is almost 80%. So definitely we can understand that why this call is so important and why we wanted to work together. So coming to this point, I just was briefly telling about it, that when it comes to the work which we have already done. So this work, which is like above the slide, which is there. So basically, there is a work which is already published in April 2025, and it was published in very good impact factor journal, that is Sustainable Energy and Technology Assessment Journal of 7.1 impact factor. And there, this work is already given. If anyone wants to know more about it, you can go through it. And the proposed work which I am putting here, the background is that we have already have a concept of roof. We have already done it in central India, in Nagpur region, where the wastewater has been collected from few food industries. For some this privacy reason, I'm not disclosing the industry from where we have already collected the samples, but the samples were collected from the food industry, and the results were so encouraging that using the wastewater, how much hydrogen generation rate was, that was quite increasing. So, so with that in the background, the objectives I have just given here, that I want to work on the 4 different work packages, which will be like how we are going to collect the wastewater, how we are going to optimize the conditions for the best hydrogen generation rate, and then how this electrolyzer, because when it comes to electricity which is given to the electrolyzer, I think that is contributing much towards the levelized cost of hydrogen production. So that also encourages us to go through it and have a collaborative work on it. Other than that, our honorable director was also mentioning the point about the LCA and the LCOH, how the techno-commercial feasibility studies and the LCA will be part of this particular consortium. I'll not go through much of the hypothesis, but definitely what I have already mentioned in the previous slide, that is already there. Work packages 3. Here I have planned for 36 months, but what I was going through the presentation from Dr. Dham, I think it was very good work packages which can be included, which can include up to 48 months. And so methodology, which I have already told, that the wastewater will be analyzed, then optimization of the conditions, and then definitely we are talking about the green hydrogen. So definitely the integration of the panels with the electrolyzer will be there in place. Then comes to the cost estimation and the LC part. So I just want to highlight here how the expertise of myself here, as in terms of the energy research, these are the particular area we have already worked, and I'm very happy to share here that one of the patent which I was just mentioning when the DST call was there, we already had a patent and it has been filed, and that was for the basically the saline water electrolysis. So definitely we have all the things, concept of proof in place, and also the design registration is there. So definitely reaching up to TRL 5 will not be difficult for us, because we are already in the level of TRL 3. So with that in the background, I'll just wrap up this work when it comes to energy and the enhancing the efficiency of the PV panel. It has been presented in international conference at Paris also, and that's how I think the brief background about the work is here. So with that, I would expect the few skill set which will be required from the collaborator will be the life cycle analysis. I just want to know that how the integration of the PV panel and the electrolyzer which is being developed, that can be integrated, and the standalone reactors can be developed. The wastewater analysis, and also how the separation of the hydrogen, if it is laden with the other gases, can be purified or separated. So these all are the expectations, and thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to present myself at this platform. Thank you so much, Samrat, and thank you for TTC.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shilpa, for giving a very already very extensive presentation about your project idea and also the methodology you have already mentioned. And we really hope that you will find the collaborators for such kind of a project. Next, we move to Austria, and here we have Mr. Deepak Katkoria from the Logik Dev GmbH. It's a SME based in Austria. Deepak ji, are you with us?
Yes, good morning, everyone.
Hi.
I hope you can hear me.
Yes, you are audible. Would you mind sharing your screen with us?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, good morning, everyone. We are a startup based in Austria, and we are quite active in the research and analysis, and already working on the Horizon based project. So, our specialty is the AI-based solution for monitoring and the predictive analysis. So, our main interest in the call is to provide the electrolysis-based analysis, which we call MOP. So, monitoring, optimization, and predictive analysis. So, this is the one of the very important part, as you know that the cost is low, but if the maintenance is not done properly or the monitoring is not done properly, it can shut down the whole system. So using our technology, you can monitor electrolyzer, you can also optimize the structure, the material, and can also analyze the different kind of shapes and the size. So how you would like to develop to solve the problems. Apart from that, AI-based predictive analysis will help you to scale up and scale down the structure, and also minimize the packaging cost. So as you know that the to have a proper kind of running system, you need to always have a optimized system, and that's why this predictive analysis is quite important. Then the next factor is the remaining useful life. So using that, you can predict, you can also manage and reduce the operating cost. So here we do a transfer function based AI analysis, on which we also have a patent, and this technology will be further improved using this joint collaboration. So this is the, for example, electrolyzer used in the battery in a different condition. So this is the working one, and this is a degraded one. So using the our technology, within a few hours, you can tell that yeah, this battery needs to be changed, otherwise, or this electrolyzer needs to be changed, or this material is not good enough, and it will degrade the system rapidly. Apart from that, the safety is also one of the important factor that you can analyze using this technology. And another thing is the life cycle analysis. So you have a whole kind of value chain considered, from concept to research to the final end use case, into the your energy value chain. And you can also reduce the OEM cost by using this technology, because you know in advance that okay, this thing needs attention, and let's do some maintenance work. So we call this project Omni Power. So you can monitor, you can optimize, you can do a predictive analysis, and you can also do a digital twin of your system, which will be real time, and you can connect, you can visualize, you can even monitor from anyone, any part of the world. So yeah, thanks everyone, and here is my contact detail, and looking forward to work with you. Thank you everyone.
Thank you so much, Deepak. It's always a pleasure to have you because also seeing your keen interest in EO India collaboration. And so, yeah, thank you so much for joining us. And we move to our next presenter.
Nice.
With,
Thank
yeah,
you.
thank you, Deepak. Next is Dr. John Graves from the Institute for Advanced Manufacturing Engineering, Coventry University from the UK. Dr. Graves, very good afternoon to you. Are you able to share your screen?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, I'll try sharing my screen. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, if you like to open your video, if it's possible. The screen
Yeah.
is on, and you're also on. Perfect.
Fantastic. Okay, yeah, so thank you very much for this opportunity to talk at this event today. So, yeah, I'm an associate professor, Dr. John Graves from Coventry University. I work in the Centre for Manufacturing Materials, and we're based here in the UK. So we have specific expertise in electrochemistry, electrocatalysts, electrolyzers for hydrogen production, but also for ammonia oxidation as well. There's my contact details, and if you'd like to know a little bit more about the Centre for Manufacturing and Materials, just follow that web link there. So we believe the topics that we'd like to address in this call are really the utilization of the side streams from the potential biological processes that are being investigated. And we'd like to use some electrochemistry and electrolyzers to actually potentially treat those waste streams and boost hydrogen production. So we have a focus on actually treating waste streams that contain ammonia. So we've been doing some work on that, and that's been part of an EU-funded project called ReWise. So if you'd like to take a look at the website, the ReWise website, you'll see some of the work that we've been doing in that EU-funded project. Essentially, we've been working on waste streams that take ammonia, that contain ammonia, stripping that ammonia from the waste stream to form a purified aqueous solution, which then we've then been processing for an anion exchange membrane electrolyzer. And we've scaled that process from a single cell to a short stack process. I think we made a slight mistake there. We've probably reached TRL level 4 for that. So we've actually demonstrated that technology in our laboratory, in our hydrogen laboratory at Coventry. So we've actually reached a TRL level 4. Not to say there's still some barriers to overcome in taking that technology forward. So still plenty of work to do on that. But yeah, so we're a real focus on taking waste streams from biological processes that may contain pollutants, but may not contain pollutants. Perhaps you're just dewatering the sludge. We could then potentially look at using that dewatering liquor to actually feed into an electrolyzer, a robust electrolyzer, for generating hydrogen and adding so boosting hydrogen production, if you like, if the biological process needs a boost to fulfill certain requirements for an application. So if you're interested in some of the work that we've been doing, we've published a paper in the International Journal of Hydrogen Energy. So there it is there. So that's our work, some of our work that's focused on the low temperature ammonia electrolyzer. So that's not the actual scale up of it. We've taken that to another level. But on the left-hand side there, you can see the concept. So what we're doing is we're taking wastewater that contains ammonia, stripping that ammonia, forming a purified electrolyte, which we feed into an anion exchange membrane electrolyzer. And we actually convert that ammonia to nitrogen as the anode reaction, but the cathode reaction, we're also generating hydrogen at the same time. So the advantage of that process is that there's the cell voltage for that process can be considerably lower than water electrolysis, and therefore there's a benefit in energy consumption. So you can see that this is our stack electrolyzer cell that we've developed in the Rewires project in the bottom left corner there. So we've been running that and doing a series of tests on that, and that's all been carried out in our hydrogen energy applications lab that we have available to handle hydrogen and test bench other forms of electrolyzers as well, such as PEM and traditional alkaline electrolyzers. Okay, so there's my contact details. So if you're interested in any of that technology and that fits a proposal that you're developing, we'd be very happy to hear from you. And yeah, check us out on the website and have a read of our paper. And thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Dr. Grace, for your presentation and for sharing your contact details so that people can reach out to you after this webinar. And with that, we move to our next speaker, which is Priyanshi Vadalia from ProCat Tech, based India and the Netherlands. Ms. Priyanshi, are you able to share your screen?
Yes, I believe it should be visible now.
Just yeah.
Great.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me for today's networking call. So my name is Priyanshi Vadalia. I am actually based in India and the Netherlands. So in India, we have been running our family business, which is called the ProCat Tech LLP. Previously, it was known as Monarch Catalyst. Some of the Indian parties that I saw might be knowing it from that name. And in the Netherlands, I had started this startup, Catalyst, which was also to develop catalytic projects further in sustainable space. Primarily, our area of expertise is in catalyst synthesis and scale up. So here are the contact details. Can go to the next slide. So this is Catalyst, which is a startup registered in the Netherlands. And what we do in the Netherlands is mainly take the catalytic processes and apply them to these newer areas that are being developed. In ProCat, we are working with actual specialty industries and pharmaceutical industries for supplying their catalyst requirements. We also conduct a lot of in-house sort of the catalyst scale-up activities, which we've started offering to other external agencies because we have a process which is now set when it comes to synthesizing in lab to taking it up in the commercial plant. So this has been helpful for various other industrial projects and research projects which are ongoing in the Indian sector and also outside. So I can briefly go over that over here. So ProCat is the production facilities are situated in Dombivli and Ambernath. We are catalyst manufacturers for the specialty and pharmaceutical sector. We also provide our services to the sustainability transition of the chemical industry by developing catalysts for these newer requirements that are ongoing now. So for certain people, they might know it as Monarch Catalyst. It was registered in 1973. When it comes to the products that we are actively developing, it's the Rani nickel type precious metal catalyst, mixed metal oxide catalyst, and zeolites, which also includes silica type catalyst and alumina. We also are supplying fuel cell catalysts for hydrogen production to DRDO. When it comes to the Netherlands entity, that's called Catalyst. It's registered in Houston in Netherlands. It was registered in 2020. Over there, we develop catalytic technologies for enabling the sustainable transition for the chemical industries. So one of the projects that we are currently working on involves shaping of morph powders to be used as morph adsorbents for the field of CO2 capture. And that has had significant advantages in terms of productivity and plant economics. We are also consortium leaders for the Netherlands project, which is called Morph for Biogas. More about that in this slide. So it's a consortium project which works on upgrading the biomass waste to green methane. So, or also grown gas, as it's known in the Netherlands. We've received a grant of $500,000 from Top Sector Energy, which is a grant organization in the Netherlands. We are partnered in this consortium with TNO, Coulson, which is a Dutch SME, our company Catalyst, and in India, ProCat. ProCat is an associated partner sort of situation in this case. It doesn't get the grant amount, but we are advisory board to this consortium. The project duration is 2 years it started in this year, early 2025, and it's projected to go along until 2027. So the scope of the project is develop highly efficient MOF adsorbents for the separation of CO2, which is envisioned to be captured or stored, and methane, which is a renewable source of methane in this case, from biogas, which is generated from waste biomass. The scope of the project is basically the separation part, not generation of biogas. And in this project, our role is to scale up the MOF adsorbent material for enabling their industrial application. In a short image, this can be how it can be characterized. We are working on the development of these MOF adsorbents, which are shaped and that can be used directly for industrial application for CO2 capture and reduction. By enabling the shaping of these adsorbents, we are able to have a longer productivity, and it helps with the plant economics a lot more as compared to the currently being projected uses of the MOF powders. For this call, so we are not really that experienced when it comes to the Horizon calls. Our basic scope has been with the Netherlands calls and also in Indian activities. We have worked along with the other partners for their projects, which involves the scaling up of Catalyst. So what I can say that we are actively involved in is the development of the commercial scale up of the Catalyst. So we work with several research institutes and companies in order to do this. And our core competencies lie in the development of these nickel-based and precious metal catalysts, which can be applied in the steam methane reforming process to convert methane that can be separated from biogas to renewable hydrogen. With the MOF for Biogas Consortium project, we are kind of almost doing these activities. And also we have ties with the Dutch and the Indian ecosystem for that. And I guess from the point of view of this call, we can say that it's in terms of partnership with the testing or analytical facilities to develop it further. So not to, I don't know too much about the EU calls, but this is how it could be. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Priyanshi. And also, there are some other researchers from the Netherlands also here today presenting, so that could be maybe interesting for you to look into possibility to network with them. And I'm just curious, are you planning to apply then from your European company or with your Indian company?
Oh, that is an interesting question. So we do have, from technical perspective, there is differentiation. In India, we have the capabilities to scale up the catalyst, and the Netherlands company is typically involved in developing the catalytic process. So once you have the catalyst, how can you apply it in the process, the optimization, the shaping capabilities? Those activities are something that we typically do from the Netherlands entity, because we don't have lab space there for scaling it up. So it's well segregated that way, but how it works in the consortium activities is something that's completely new for us.
Okay, good luck with finding out and navigating your way through. I hope this webinar will be helpful for you to understand better this particular Horizon Europe calls specifications. And with that, we move to our next speaker today, Mr. Mateen Abdul from Grassroots Energy. It's an SME based both in India and the UK. Thank you so much, Mr. Abdul, for joining us. And I see your slides are already up. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, and good afternoon and morning, everyone. So we have been working on biohydrogen since 2022. We and our partners in UK, we have a working relationship on developing the solution, which was supported by UK government in 22, and then the effort has been continuing since then. So some of the innovations which we are bringing to the table is we can work with diverse range of agricultural feedstocks, which could be used with our proprietary consortia. There is no need for any sterilization. There is a modular reactors which we have designed for both the stages. I'll talk about that in a bit. The solution is energy efficient and water efficient. It consumes close to around 85% less water compared to a standard electrolyzer process. We have a working know-how on about 6 feedstocks, and we're adding few more to that list. We believe that at a optimum level, it can produce anywhere between 60 to 90 kgs, depending on the feedstock and the kind of effort which we have to put in over the next few quarters and years. So the process optimization is something which we are currently working on. The model is an integrated dark fermentation and microbial electrolysis. We have a pre-treatment strategy which helps us to produce larger quantities of hydrogen. It's a cost-effective nutrients which we have developed, and it's a continuous feeding which we are aiming to demonstrate in the next few quarters. And there are remote monitoring solutions, something which we are working on. Um, s- yeah. Yeah, so this is the schematic. So some of the feedstocks we have primarily worked on the agricultural feedstocks, but the work can continue for MSW, the organic portion, and also on the farm waste. The stage one is the dark fermentation, and the media can flow into the stage two, which is the microbial electrolysis. We're talking about the hydrogen and 40% CO2, and the biomass. We want to process that into biochar. So these are the current partners, both Phoebus Power, UCL, and Newcastle. We have a working relationship, like I've said, for the last 3 years. On the India side, the partners were IIT Hyderabad. We have been working since towards end of 2023, and the Revi Labs has been instrumental as part of the journey so far. And we also have a working relationship with the government of Telangana, which is the RICH. We are at TRL 4, and we have gathered quite a bit of data over the last few years, and we believe that with support and incremental effort, we can take this to TRL 6. So these are the areas where we are looking at partnerships, which we believe that this is the balance of the effort which we have to put in, whether it is on integration and optimization. There is a remote monitoring which has to be developed because a solution doesn't exist in this space. And we are looking at value-added products on the CO2 valorization, on quite a bit of work which is pending on the biochar. We are in discussions with some of the industry offtake partners and happy to have other conversations as well. There are a few materials which we are trying to optimize, so we have a need for material experts. We have an interesting approach to AI-assisted metabolic engineering, which is done by our partner in UK, which is UCL, and we believe that and with the right partner, we can accelerate that effort. And we also want to look at, as a part of the application, in addition to some of the demonstrations, one of the approaches we want to look at is decentralized hydrogen, which could be a game changer in some of the emerging economies in certain segments as well. Yeah, I think that's it from our end. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for your presentation. Also already informing that you have consortium members and the specific partners and expertise you're looking here are in India. So that sounds very promising. And with this, we would like to move to our next presenter, which is Dr. Swati Kumari from the Institute for Science and Society at Radboud University from the Netherlands. Thank you so much. And I see your slides are up as well. Can you unmute your mic, ma'am? Yeah, now we can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Swati Kumari. I work at the Faculty of Science in Redbaud University, and I particularly work with the Institute for Science and Society. And this institute has skills or expertise in sustainability analysis, life cycle assessment, and risk and safety analysis, and mostly the modeling part, and as well as the stakeholder engagement. But from the Redbaud University, also the Department of Chemistry, particularly the chemochemistry and the analytical chemistry, is also participating with us. So the presentations has already been pretty long, so I'll be very brief. This is a little bit about me. I'm a biochemical engineer, and I had a working experience working in a multinational company in India, and where I was like learning to design this bioreactor designing, and then later on I drifted towards more of responsible innovations and modeling safety and other stuff. And here, as a skill, what I can offer is like anticipation, risk and safety analysis modeling for resource efficiency. And this is the idea, tentative project title, and it's very tentative, nothing finalized yet. We are still discussing, and then we look for this EU consortium and Indian consortium working together with like technical aspect and sustainability aspect. And I really wanted to highlight this particular slide where we have like it's very preliminary and still like we are discussing, and we have thought of the 6 work packages where we are looking for partners. The work package one is feedstock treatment, pre-treatment, and it is going to be like completely technical, and we thought of it like it can be better if it's an India-led thing. And it will have 2 components: developing, shorting, and enzymatic pretreatment for agricultural and municipal waste. And second is optimize regional supply chain using AI tools. And the work package 2 is biochemical processes, which is again technical, and it's joint EU and India led. And then here we'll focus on enhanced anaerobic digestion for biogas and intermediate production, test microbial consortia for high hydrogen yield. And the work package 3 is thermochemical process. It's a technical, again EU led in our application. And then it's implement catalytic steam reforming for high purity hydrogen. And second is use microchannel reactors for process intensification. Work package 4 is about catalyst development, where design non-toxic efficient catalyst. And here we are also toying with the idea of using LLMs actually for designing these non-toxic efficient catalysts, especially using the theoretical chemistry. And the second part of work package 4 is characterize using spectroscopy for optimal performance. And work package 5 is sustainability assessment, where I kick in, that is conduct risk and safety analysis with EHSP input and perform the life cycle assessment for environmental impact. And third is analyze pathways for cost and scalability. And work package 6 is joint EU-India activity, India coordination. And there is an emerging consortium of Netherlands institutions. For instance, ARM from the Radboud University and the chemistry department, analytical chemistry department, and University of Utrecht, DIFER, and University of Delft. We are together talking, and then we are discussing these work packages, but we are definitely looking for partners and for each of these work packages, because what we plan to do is divide smaller works in different, spread the work in different labs, maybe through the joint PhDs or smaller projects where already there are some existing level of technological advancement, maybe like technology level 2 or 3, something like that is existing, and then built upon that with the add-on funding from the grant. So we are now like looking for consortium partners. That was the purpose of this presentation, like feedstock pretreatment, biochemical process, thermochemical process, and sustainability. And if you are interested in any of these work packages, then please contact me on this. And then I'm like kind of coordinating this consortium, but I'm not going to be the chief applicant. We have not decided about that even. We are open to that. And thank you for your time. That
Thank you
was
so
from my
much.
side.
Thank you so much, Dr. Swati, for your presentation. And with that, we move to our next presenter, which is Dr. Partho Kundu from the CSIR National Institute for Interdisciplinary Science and Technology, joining us from Trivandrum in India. Dr. Partha, thank you so much for your time. And can you please share your presentation? think we have some problem with your audio.
Yeah, right now it is okay.
Yeah, it's okay, but there's a slight
Yeah.
echo in your there's with your internet connection probably.
Oh, okay. Because outside is raining. Uh, outside is raining.
Could you maybe try
So
to switch off your camera so maybe it will improve the.
uh, yeah. Now it is okay, right?
It is better,
Yeah.
but your slides disappeared, sir.
Okay. Just I again share my slides.
Perfect.
I think now it is visible, right?
Yes, and you're also more audible to us. Thank you.
Yeah. Very good afternoon and very good morning to all of you. So myself, Partha Kundu, actually working in the CSR NIST in Environment Technology Divisions. We are working in this hydrogen area quite a long period of time. Mainly CSR activities is there, hydrogen technology missions. We are part of that in generation and separation. So in this call, we can contribute in the area of generation, separation, and storage area. So in subsequent slide, I will share what are the leads we have developed and what are the way we can contribute in this call and collaborate with you partner as well. So mainly we are focusing, we are working continuously working in the waste to hydrogen, basically renewable hydrogens. And key objectives of this proposed projects is development of a sustainable technology that can be renewable energy-based technology, process optimization, process strategy for the efficient and enhanced production of the green hydrogen, and energy efficiency, low capex and opex, and low emission process. And coming to the Indian waste scenario, so we see waste not a waste material, we can see it as a resource material for us because it has a potential to generate energy out of it because it has certain carbon content. So there are the different kind of the waste materials characterized across India. Mainly we are focusing on the biogenic waste, mainly municipal solid waste, wastewater, as well as agricultural waste. So large quantity of the waste in different sectors are being generated. You can see that agricultural waste in India on an average annually 6,600 million tons generated. Out of it, 140 million tons are surplus. So that mostly burn out. So that can be the potential feedstock for the hydrogen for the biological route. And out of MSW, the 62 million tons of MSW is generated across the India. And out of this, 50 to 60% is biogenic in nature. So that portion can be separated out and that can be placed for the hydrogen generations, both in urban and rural setup. And large quantity of the wastewater also being generated. And mostly we have a limited capacity for treatment. So certain portion of these waste materials can be converted in a significant way to green hydrogen or in terms of net zero process, efficient process through which we can generate hydrogen out of it. So these are the lead we have generated because couple of years back, CSR already floated that concept of hydrogen technology missions. Through this mission, we have generated a couple of leads in this regards. So we have developed a bioelectrochemical process as Dr. Mohan sir already being informed that dark fermentations and the electrochemical process are the future for the treatment of this biogenic waste. So we are aligned with that line and we already started work in this line. So we have developed a lab scale setup, standalone system, so we can use different kind of the feedstock for the conversion of this waste material to the hydrogen. Right now, we have developed the process for the wastewater through which we can generate hydrogen out of it, which include the feedstock characterizations process. It is a hybrid kind of process because different kind of process maintenance is very difficult. So we have innovatively develop a standalone process so that what the dark fermentation and electrolysis happen together in presence of a biocatalyst for enhanced bioproductions. So here also we are developing biocatalysts for basically for specific hydrogen producing biocatalysts, so which can convert this kind of waste materials, basically carbon containing and biodegradable waste material to convert in terms of hydrogen. And this is the, you can see that one. This is the lab scale prototype. It is the capacity is right now is a 10 liter per day. So it connect this continuous reactor along with the gas separation unit, storage, storage all are incorporated in this process. So it is a standalone system starting from the feedstock to the storage generation and the storage aspect. And another aspect, we are also doing the hydrogen storage because hydrogen cannot be stored easily. So the type 4 and the type 3 tank is being recommended for the hydrogen storage. So we have developed a polymer composite kind of materials for the hydrogen storage purpose. These are the type 4 storage tank that are coupled for the different scale-up process also that can be coupled to connect for the storage of the large amount of hydrogen productions. And also we have a certain capabilities in the gas separation and gas analysis aspect because when you generate hydrogen out of waste materials, definitely certainly some mixture of the gases will be there. So out of it, we have to purify the hydrogen. So we have a certain lead for the different kind of the adsorbent materials for separating out the gas mixture and getting the pure hydrogen in this line. So we have also certain capacity on the leads in this area for generation, storage, and this gas separation and purification area. So what we have proposed through these leads, we proposed a integrated process by which we can make a nexus between the waste to hydrogen through a circular economy. So as the process is already being developed, and it is at the TRL 3 to 4 level. So we have right now the process we have developed for the wastewater. Then that process can be integrated to other kind of waste materials also. So we are through this project, we are targeting different agricultural waste, municipal waste, and the sewage sludge also. So pre-treatment method is very important for this different kind of the different feedstock having different characteristics. So pre-treatment method is very important. So already we have started working on the physical method and the biological method for enzymatic route that can be gone to the anaerobic digestions as the Venkat Mohan sir already being mentioned. And the part of this hydrolyzed part we are using that are developed BEC bioelectrochemical reactor through which we have used to enhance the hydrogen productions. And the residue out of it, both the processes out of that, the residue, whatever is coming is basically used as a biofertilizer for the agriculture purpose. So it is a zero discharge process and the generated hydrogen can be used with different hydrogen utilization aspects in transportation, energy sectors and residence, local heating and the local firing also. So it is a net zero process. This is the concept we are generalized through this proposal and can be executed through this proposal with the help of EU or our Indian partners. So coming to the collaboration, so we have expertise in the field of engineering. I am basically chemical engineer. So process engineering, chemical engineering is available. Polymer scientists, material scientists, and biologists, microbiologists are already there. So we are competent in the process engineering, reactor design part, and polymer chemistry part for the storage and other aspects, biotechnology part also. So we need certain expertise or collaboration from EU side, from the joint technology development, AI-related feedstock supply chain, digitization of the process, LCA framework for both the European and Indian countries, the digital twin for the digitization of these technologies across both the countries, and the safety and risk assessment. Thank you all. This is all from my side. I will be happy to answer any of your queries.
Thank you so much, Dr. Partha, for this very concise and interesting presentation. And we move now to our next speaker, which is Dr. Eleonora Cordioli from the Center for Sustainable Energy, Fondazione Bruno Kessler, joining us from Italy. Dr. Cordioli, thank you so much. And I see your slides already up. The floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for this opportunity. I'm Eleonora Cordioli. I'm a researcher at the Sustainable Energy Center in Fondazione Bruno Kessler, which is a research institution in Trento, Italy. I'm gonna show you a few slides to show you who we are, what we're doing, what's our expertise, and since we are available for joining a consortium for this call, I will leave also my contacts so that you can reach out to us for any further questions. So first of all, Fondazione Bruno Kessler, a research institute that focuses on sciences and technologies, and in particular, the Center for Sustainable Energy supports the development of technologies and methods for the generation, storage, and distribution of environmentally friendly energy solutions. And it also promotes the deep decarbonization of energy system by enhancing system flexibility to reduce emission and support a sustainable energy future. Within the Center for Sustainable Energy, the unit HIRES, which is dedicated to hydrogen and resilient energy system, is focused on developing novel solutions to accelerate the implementation of hydrogen as a zero-emission energy vector, covering the entire value chain of the hydrogen, so from production to storage, distribution, and final uses, which include mobility, but also hard-to-abate sectors like steelmaking industry and so on. We participate to many initiatives, both at national and European level. For instance, we are part of the Clean Hydrogen Partnership within Hydrogen Europe Research, and we are connected with many national and EU institutions. And we also are involved in strategic initiatives like the important project for common European interest, the so-called IPCI, and collaborate in many research projects. Here is a list of current research activities. We have within the HIRES unit, we have a focus on electrolytic hydrogen production with experimental activities on both low and high temperature electrolysis systems, but also we are dealing with non-electrolytic hydrogen production. In particular, our activities, current activity include the design and standardization of testing protocols for plasma-assisted and thermocatalytic methane cracking setups, the synthesis and characterization of catalytic materials, the modeling of prototype plants for waste conversion and fuel production, including analysis of the process parameters, definition of control strategy, mass and energy balances, and also life cycle sustainability analysis, including both environmental life cycle analysis and life cycle cost analysis, so LCA and LCC, both on energy system, on small systems, but also on hydrogen valleys, which include both production, distribution, and end use of hydrogen. So we cover the entire value chain of the hydrogen. As regards our expertise, I list here some expertise that can be useful and connected to the call of the present session. So first of all, inline gas analysis with mass spectroscopy, but also ICP, modeling and simulation expertise. In particular, we cover computational fluid dynamics and electrochemical modeling, as well as dynamic modeling, diagnostic and prognostics, techno-economic analysis, and life cycle sustainability analysis, as just mentioned, both LCA and LCC. Other than this, also we have expertise in material development and characterization, in particular with thin film deposition, chemical, superficial, and structural characterization, electrochemical testing. In the slides, then you will find all the details about also these techniques. I will not go too much in detail during my presentation. As regards the facilities we have available, we have lab scale testing facilities, for example, for the design and production of advanced lab scale plasma and thermocatalytic reactors, as well as electrolytic hydrogen production, and in particular, test benches for different electrolytic technologies, PM, AEM, SOE as well. Moreover, starting from 2026, we will have larger spaces at disposal, so large-scale pilot testing facilities for testing hydrogen production systems, but also for the utilization of hydrogen, so electrolyzers and fuel cells at the scale of up to 1.2 megawatts. So this was in a nutshell and very quickly what we do, what we could offer within this call. I will leave here my contact and the one of Matteo Testi, who is the head of unit for the HIRES unit within the Center for Sustainable Energy. Thanks for your attention. Please reach out to us for any question or for any collaboration you would like to start. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Cordioli, for your presentation and for leaving us your contact details to be contacted by the participants of today's webinar. And with that, we come back to India now. We are with Dr. Asad Hassan Sahir, who is Assistant Professor at the Department of Chemical Engineering at the Indian Institute of Technology, Ropar. Very good afternoon, sir. I see your slides are already up on the screen. Thank you so much. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Samrat. I hope that it's so very good afternoon, and I really appreciate the opportunity to participate in the EU-India TTC call. So I'm Asad Sahir, a faculty member at the Department of Chemical Engineering at IIT Ropar, and essentially my expertise involves process systems engineering, energy and environment, and particularly with a focus on infrastructure analysis. And my contact details are on the screen, and I believe that the presentation slides will also be available to you on the Your Access India website, on the call website, and as well as I'll also leave the details in the chat after my presentation. So essentially, one of the key expertise that my research team would like to offer is essentially on infrastructure integration. There is a lot of interest, especially on hydrogen transport, and especially when it comes to utilizing the existing natural gas pipelines. All over the world, conversations are happening that how, if we have to adapt natural gas infrastructure for the flow of hydrogen, how we do it. So this is about that how we can understand retrofitting an existing infrastructure and possibly understand that what are the possible errors which could be caused by introducing hydrogen into a natural gas, whether it's the thermodynamic methods, whether it is aspects related to economics and cost, or whether it is aspects related to how would the pipeline operators be trained for the future. So when we are thinking of integration of a renewable or a bio-based resource, then these parameters for near-term deployments, situations, especially with hydrogen pipelines, become extremely important. Whether you are thinking of a steady flow or an unsteady flow, where you could have effects related to pressure wave propagation, or you could have a sudden shutdown of a valve, and so forth. The second key expertise, which has been also mentioned by the previous presenter and reiterated in the beginning of the call, is about techno-economic analysis. It turns out that this topic has a region-specific context, and we need to understand what are the underlying assumptions, what are the underlying financial principles and the incentives which are offered by policy. What is being shown on the screen right now is our work using a US Department of Energy model, which is called Hydrogen Delivery Simulation Analysis model, owing to my familiarity with the process, being a part of the organization for about 3 years. And what essentially comes out with the Indian scenario is that we have to understand that what would be the deployment cost when we are using liquid hydrogen versus pipelines, and what are the different cost components, what will be the cost related to capital, what will be the cost related to operating costs, and particularly when we are having technologies which are being based on from the waste utilization and valorization. It's not only on the generation side, but also on the transport side that we need to be concerned about. And we have also looked into generation-based technologies like pyrolysis, proton exchange membranes, and also biomass gasification for that matter. Coming to the third expertise that we have been working very closely is with the European Union's model on using open source software like PyMario, which are used to assess what are the consent carbon dioxide emissions, which could be related to different hydrogen pathways using proton exchange membranes, the steam methane reforming, and even using sources from the natural gas, which may be termed as blue hydrogen. And then we also see a sectoral variation over here. And these are the capabilities which are available from the Indian side, and we are having strong collaborations owing to various initiatives like the climate compatible growth in the United Kingdom, in which one of our lead researchers participated. Building upon our ongoing engagement with the European Union, one of the interesting aspects of these associations is the ability that these engagements provide to our emerging researchers. I would like to note down a few of them. One was with Ms. Sukriti Sharma, who participated in the Indo-German Science and Technology Industrial Fellowship, where she worked with Fraunhofer Jungschicht in modeling a pyrolysis reactor over there in their unit. And the other one is an ongoing engagement with TU Resident under the Digital Talents Program, where Ms. Pragya Singh is working on anaerobic digestion and how she can use machine learning techniques to develop models which could be used to model biodigesters, particularly in the Indian region. And there are more partnerships which are in progress. I'm a part of a larger ecosystem at IIT Ropar, which is being led by Professor Dheeraj Mahajan, which also looks into material modeling capabilities, how hydrogen fuel cells would come up, and this analysis also feeds into that part. And I would like to take this opportunity to express my sincere gratitude to Dr. Samrat, Dr. Vivek, Dr. Hafsa, and Dr. Mohan for their efforts in fostering ties between EU and India. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Asad, and very much appreciate your kind words. And thank you for this very interesting presentation and already outlining the ongoing collaborations you have with the EU partners. Next, we would like to welcome Dr. Shiju Ravindran from the Van Hoff Institute for Molecular Sciences, University of Amsterdam, the Netherlands. Dr. Shiju, thank you so much for joining, and I see your slides are up already.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Samrat. Can you hear me well?
Yes, sir. Perfectly.
And can you see my slides also?
Yeah, they're visible.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. And good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shiju Ravindran. I'm an associate professor and group leader for Catalysis Engineering Group at Van Hoff Institute for Molecular Sciences, University of Amsterdam. So we would, of course, like to be involved in this topic, in this call, and especially the specific contribution to this topic from our institute and myself will be thermochemical waste conversion to renewable hydrogen. We also have colleagues working on biocatalysis, and so it should be also an interesting opportunity to couple them to this call. In principle, we are working on developing, designing, and testing catalysts all the way from my specialization is heterogeneous catalysis, but we also have colleagues working on homogeneous catalysis and also organocatalysis as well as biocatalysis. So we would like to use advanced catalysts to enhance primary conversion or upgrading of the intermediate from primary conversion or process intensification methods. And we also have experience in utilizing side streams, such as aqueous and gaseous streams from primary conversion or further conversion using catalytic methods. So we actually have worked on or working many different processes, but the basic and which are interdisciplinary topics, and we connect these interdisciplinary topics by a careful blend of reaction engineering, chemistry, and material science. To give you some of the examples of our previous and running projects, we have been successful in getting a number of EU projects as well as national projects as well as projects supported with industries. So some of the projects that are currently going on are using carbon dioxide, converting carbon dioxide to value-added chemicals using two-dimensional catalysts. And then SUSGreen, this is making sustainable fuels from carbon dioxide using integrated green technologies, including biocatalytic conversion, thermocatalytic conversion, processes like hydrothermal liquefaction, as well as membrane separation to divide or separate carbon dioxide and methane from biogas and flue gas, and also hydrogen plus carbon dioxide reaction to methanol. We also work on cleaning wastewater using plasma technology, but also producing hydrogen at the same time. This is with the support of a company. And then we also work on chemically recycling plastics, waste plastics. This is a large EU project of the order of 20 million euros from Horizon Europe, and including a number of partners, as you can see here on the screen. And our topic, our part on this project is actually to convert waste plastics to a synthetic oil using hydrothermal liquefaction with solid catalyst. We have been also working on converting biomass to value-added chemicals and molecules like levulinic acid. We have been also supported by Booking.com for making renewable jet fuel from organic waste. And we were also working on green plasma chemistry for converting carbon dioxide to fuels and chemicals, as well as green methanol, again from EU projects. We have a very equipped laboratory. So as you can see on the screen, so we have number of flow reactors, also number of batch reactors. As you can see here, high pressure, high temperature reactions for doing batch reactions as well as flow reactions. And then we also have quite good characterization facilities. This you can see here, the flow reactors as well as plasma reactors. And we also have quite good characterization facilities, both within my own lab, but also in central facilities as X-ray diffraction, NMR, LCMS, GCMS, and so on. So these are my contact details. My email is n.r.shiju@uva.nl, and you are welcome to contact me. And also I can couple with my colleagues working in different.
Thank you so much. And the presentation, and we're looking forward, to see how this could further develop into a very strong proposal from your university side and with the partners.
Thank you.
Next, we are going to Switzerland. We have Ms. Blanca de Ulibari from the Roundtable on Sustainable Biomaterials, an NGO based in Switzerland. Ms. Blanca, yeah, I already see your screen is up.
Sorry.
Yeah, are you ready to present?
Yes. I'm trying to initiate to share my video camera.
Yeah, it's here.
Okay, now you can see me, no?
Yeah, we can see you and hear you, and we see your presentation is on. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot. So, good afternoon, good morning, everyone. I would like to thank you for being invited today to present RSV. So, I am Blanca de Ulibarri. I am the project lead of RSV. And for those that don't know us, we are an international multi-stakeholder organization which develops robust sustainability standards for the biomaterials and biofuel sector. As you can see in my screen, we are a member-based organization with more than 130 members. These members, as you can see, they are from different value chain parts. So we have feedstock producers, we have also fuel producers, and also different NGOs and research centers. We convened with all these organizations to develop our standards and to work together on collaborative projects like the EU projects in order to advance the sustainable bioeconomy. So how do we do this? So we do this by applying our 12 principles and criteria, which are the basis of our well-recognized certification schemes that are applied to the bioenergy and the bioproduct sector. As you can see here, those 12 principles and criteria, they consider different aspects of the value chain, taking into account not only the environmental impact focus on GHG emission, but also they take into account soil protection, water conservation, and different socioeconomic aspects. So we use them to describe the best social, legal, and environmental and management practices for the sustainable production of different feedstocks and products, from farm level to the industrial level. And how do we implement this sustainability framework in the different activities that we perform in RSV? So we work across 3 key areas to form impact alliances that are spread to reach this approach. So from one side, we have the certification. So We use this to provide market access to the different innovative products. We are one of the voluntary schemes that is approved under the Renewable Energy Directive. So we have a certification scheme that is focused on that, but also we have different certification schemes that try to prove the sustainability in the bio-based products and also in the sustainable aviation fuel. Besides that, we also have what we call the programs, and in this area, we work in different R&D projects, like for example, Horizon Europe, CDGU, or also on the landscape level programs where we develop sustainability roadmaps for PTX, like one that we have made for APAC, and also sustainability assessment for different feedstocks to be used to produce biofuels, for example. And finally, we have the part about community. So as I mentioned previously, we're a member-based association. Therefore, we engage with our members and also with external stakeholders through different webinars and events. Through capacity building, we have an RSV Academy that is used to train with regards to the sustainability. And also we have our different platforms, like for example, the PTX platform or the Sustainable Material and Chemical platform, where we engage with the stakeholders to discuss key aspects in the different topics. So here I want to show you what are the different schemes that RSB has currently to support the sustainability. So we have, as I mentioned, the EU RED, but also we have ICAO CORSIA or the advanced products. And what's the role that RSB plays in the different R&D EU projects? So from one side, and as I mentioned previously, we take our robust sustainability framework and we use it to develop tools and guidelines that can ensure that the new innovative processes are done in a sustainable way. In a sustainable way, from one part in the environmental part, but also in the social and economical. We also perform environmental assessment using our own GHG tool, but also conducting LCAs with a circular approach in order to prove the circularity of the different processes that are being developed. Besides, we also support with the standard development and certification of those novel feedstocks. So our standards, they can be adapted to meet the needs of the new innovations to prove the sustainability. Also, with the part about policy and stakeholder engagement, we know the importance that nowadays we have in this EU praise to ensure that all the products that are being developed, they fulfill the different policies. So we convene with sector-specific stakeholders in different platforms, like I mentioned before, to discuss the key topics and create the capacity building initiatives. So just as a summary, what we want to ensure with the different activities is that the new developments that are done in these R&D projects, they take into account sustainability at every level, and they help to create positive impacts in the environment and the society. So here it's a glimpse of the current projects that RSB is involved and the different activities that we are performing. Like, for example, in Carina project, we are doing the life cycle assessment to ensure the circularity of the new bio-based products. Then in a light project, we created a sustainable airport platform to engage with airports to discuss about initiatives for decarbonization. And in Icarus project, we are creating a guidance of sustainable aviation fuel for new pathways that are being developed in this project. Okay. Lastly, so in the conclusion, partnering with RSB, it can provide access to international accepted sustainability criteria, ensuring that this new project adheres to high environmental, social, and governance standards. And what we offer is the market access and credibility. So the RSB certification, it can open door to market access to these new products. And also it can help to mitigate risk and drive long-term success of these new projects, ensuring that the projects are resilient and have a future proof. So I leave here our contacts, and I invite you to reach out to explore how RSP can collaborate with your project, bringing sustainability and impact at the heart of the innovation. So thanks a lot, and looking forward to collaborate with you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Blanca, for presenting your organization and the extensive and very interesting work you're doing. And from Switzerland, we move to Spain, and here we have Dr. Julio Fierro Fernandez. He is a senior researcher at Ecobiotechnologies area, Spain. So, Dr. Fernandez, are you with us? Yes, I can see you. And are you able to share your screen? Yes. And if you could unmute your mic.
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So, good morning, everyone, or good afternoon. Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity of presenting our project idea for this call. My name is Julio Fierro. I am the senior researcher of the Ecobiotechnologies area at the CETIM Technological Center, which is a research center located in Spain. Just in a brief, the team is a private research center which is focused in circular economy. We are, as I said, located in A Coruña in Spain. We have there our facilities with over 2,500 meters of laboratories and pilot facilities. We focus our research activity in three main areas: advanced materials, eco-biotechnologies, and digital industry. In advanced materials, we work with in the development of different materials in the lignocellulosic from lignocellulosic sources, also in polymeric materials, in constructing materials, and also in energy storage. In the biotechnologies, we focus in wastewater and air treatment processes, also in biorefineries, which is related with a topic and the call that I'm going to show you in this presentation. And also we perform a sustainability assessment. And finally, we have a research area of digital industry where we work with digital systems and also in Internet of Things. At the moment, in CITIM, we are working in over 80 research projects in over 20 different calls at both a national and European level, with involving over 2,080 clients and mobilizing over 200 million euros. We have quite a strong experience coordinating proposals also in Europe and CBE, Life, and different codes. We have previously worked in previous call of European Union and India related to water treatment that was successfully funded, and we are currently leading a proposal under this topic. I'm just showing a very quick, brief concept idea of the project. I'm as the topic suggests to focus in different um, technologies for the production of hydrogen from wastes, focusing in biological pathways like dark fermentation, and also in novel in technologies in the thermochemical way, like the gasification, and involving different, as you consider, working with different sorts of wastes, and I mean to improve also and integrate the innovations in the downstream conversion and upgrading of the hydrogen production or the syngas, and the conversion of the effluents produces for example, for the dark fermentation. And we are currently, we're interested in finding a coordinating partner for the Indian consortium, and also we are at this point completing the both India and the European consortium, like with partners with expertise in the syngas or hydrogen upgrading or downstream processing, also in novel gasification routes, and also open to other complementary hydrogen production routes to add to those that I saw you in the in the concept. So that's quite brief. You have here my contact, and in the first slide was my contact, and also a link to the setting webpage where you can find also more information about our work.
Thank you
Thank you
so
very
much.
much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Fernandez, and good to hear that you already are part of a successful EO India project. And I'm sure that there are some potential partners waiting out there for you to collaborate on this specific call.
Okay, thank you very
Next,
much.
thank you. Next, we move to Germany, and here we have Dr. Carlos Antonio Rufino Jr. From the Charisma Institute, CECOS, Technische Hochschule Ingolstadt. Yes, Dr. Rufino Jr., are you with us?
Yes, do you hear me?
Yes, perfect. I'm just gonna. And your slides are up.
So,
Okay.
all right. So, thank you, and it's a pleasure to be here with you people, and I'm going to introduce Charisma, which is a research center within Technische Hochschule Ingolstadt. Here I am talking on behalf of our institution and our international program coordinator, and the main person who is coordinating the European proposals is Mark Foglerau. Today is holidays in Europe. Because of that, she could not join today. But yeah, I'm also happy to introduce a little bit our research institute in this context here. We are experts in safety. We focus on hydrogen systems and also in automotive solutions. We have three institutes. We have CECOS, that is electrically connected and secure mobility, where we have many projects. We focus on hydrogen, and also CISAFE, where we are testing some components, and CIAD, automated driving. We focus on autonomous driving and so on. Here's the contact details of our international program coordinator. In this call, what we can bring here is that we can provide some research activities on bio-based hydrogen production, and also we can develop some research on safety requirements, safety assessment, safety standards, and also develop some technical and economic studies in order to know what would be better to in some contexts, in some applications, and also develop some studies we focus on life cycle analysis and the sustainability concepts. We have more than 30 projects running right now in our institute, in our department, and where we are also modeling hydrogen systems, digitalizing the process, also providing some models which can predict degradation, also estimate the residual value of hydrogen systems. we have also advanced the control systems, which can be used to optimize the operation and the maintenance. And we are also able to test the hydrogen systems on component level. We are also able to develop some training materials and develop some new skills, and also participate in some dissemination and communication activities. We have a strong network with India as well. Some of those guys may have here, maybe here, maybe they are here as well. I have seen some of them here. Professor Dr. Kirodip Bakli from School of Energy Science and Engineering. He's professor in IIT Kharagpur. Professor Dr. Rajat Nair, professor from IIT Madras, and also we have contact with a company with the vice president there who is interested on this call as well. And we are participating in many projects, and some of them we are coordinating. So here there are the I have written the contact details here, and I hope that I have more time to discuss with you guys and present our institute and our concept better, and support you in project concept preparation, and also participating in the existing consortiums. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Carlos, for stepping in. We know it's a public holiday in Europe, but I'm very glad that the THI team could be part and present today, and also good to know that you already have a network of partners in India, and so we're very much looking forward to maybe receive a very good proposal from your side. And with that, we move to our last presenter today, which is Dr. Harish Chandra Singh from MIT University. Dr. Singh, are you able to share your screen?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Can we skip the putting slides online? Only then I can present, because I have not taken permission from all of my consortia partner. So it would be hard for me to actually present if we are planning to keep it in the online format. Only then I can present. Otherwise, I can just speak verbally.
Yeah, you can just speak verbally, and let us know if we should share the presentation, or you can send us maybe a more cleaned presentation slides which we can share. Yes,
Yeah,
afterwards.
I have cleared one, but at least at this stage, I'm not sure whether I should basically present that slide to keep it in the online version. So maybe I will skip this because I have
Yes.
not taken
Okay.
permission with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Perfect.
good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Harish Chandra Singh, and currently I'm Ramanujan Faculty Fellow at MIT University, and also I'm holding a guest adjunct professor at University of Oulu, Finland. And currently I'm actually visiting University of Oulu, Finland for the multiple purposes, including this India EU call. So we have been already discussing with many of our partner, and as the call suggests, that this is actually based on the waste to renewable hydrogen. So we are targeting a couple of processes. So we have already developed indigenously at our MIT University electrodes which can produce electricity from the different types of wastewater, including industrial wastewater, and that electricity can be utilized at the electrolysis of the water. So you can basically produce hydrogen in a much cheaper way, or you can say the cheapest way of producing the hydrogen. And we have already showcases the same processes, even in lighting the whole lab with the process, just utilizing some LEDs and all that. And then we are also targeting the methane pyrolysis, basically the bio-waste driven methane, and then the TCD. And we have already a couple of partners here in the University of Oulu. Also a couple of industry, like one of the leading industry in Finland is Ikamite. They are already producing carbon and hydrogen with the same process, and that is what we are integrating. And then our Haryana campus of Amity University, they also have a couple of industry partner who are actually using the waste to basically generate different types of biogas, and then finally to convert into the hydrogen. So we have basically already the ready proof of concept, and then we have almost 8 partners, including four confirmed India partner, and then also at least 4 EU partner. But we are still looking for a couple of experts who can provide support from the life cycle analysis or techno-economical analysis or digitalization like processes in this methodology. So yeah, I have shared my contact detail here in the chat box. So feel free to contact in case of any questions or query. I hope that's enough, Dr. Samrat.
Thank you so much, Dr. Singh, for coming and presenting the idea of your consortium, and that you already have members both in Europe and in India who are ready to work on a proposal. So that sounds very promising, and we're happy to hear that. And with that, we come to the conclusion of this part of the webinar, and it has been now 3.5 hours of a very engaging sessions, I would say, with our experts, with our scientists. I think we can take a few more minutes to maybe address some immediate questions, maybe from the speakers, from the presenters today, because we have still Dr. Vivek Dham from the EU delegation with us. So if there are some questions, I saw that Vivek, you have also been very engaged in answering a lot of questions in the Q&A. So thank you for that. And before we go into the Q&A, I would also like to thank all the people who have been with us for 3.5 hours. I see we're still 100 in total. That's really great, very, very impressive. And I would also like to ask all the presenters maybe to switch on your camera so we could take like a family webinar picture, if that's okay. If you could just, maybe, yes, that's perfect. And we can just take quickly, I can just do a screenshot of that, for our records. Thank you so much. This has been really a very impressive session so far today. And let me just make a click. Okay, that's done. And Dr. Vivek, what you say, like, do you have something, to share? Like you saw all the questions, and
Yeah.
is there something, a common thread, common theme, which you would like to address again? And then, of course,
Yeah.
also our panelists, if they have some questions, they could come in now. Thank you,
Yeah,
Vivek.
so yeah, thanks, Samrat. There is a one repetitive question which is coming about the Indian participant and India as an associated partner, whether it is required, whether only the coordination is required, all this question. So I just want to make a very clear thing that Horizon eligibility criteria, as such, the document doesn't specify that Indian requirement is there. Okay. But what does it say in legal and financial setup? That the EU grant which is awarded to this specific topic should be coordinated with the project awarded by the Ministry of Renewable Energy. So what does it mean? That irrespective of whether you include Indians in Horizon project or not, the MNRE project which will be granted, that project is having a minimum requirement of 3 Indian and 3 European. So that become de facto that the European should also look into the MNRE's guideline. So that means the minimum 3 Indian is required, even it is not explicitly mentioned. The second reason is that the evaluation will be done jointly. So the evaluators will not, the Indian evaluators will not look a separate proposal. They will look at the same proposal, and the Europeans, they are sitting all together. So that means the proposal what the evaluators should have has a consolidated proposal which should have a complete picture for evaluators. Who are the partners from India? Who are the partners from Europe? How much is the funding required from Indian side, and how much is required from European side? Based on that, the evaluation will be done. So that ambiguity of Indian to be integrated or not should be removed. It has to, because the MNRE guidelines needs to be followed, because if the MNRE doesn't fund that project, obviously the Europeans will not fund that project as well. So the European consortium, when they are going to prepare a proposal, please look into the MNRE guidelines, so that makes the synergy between the two sides, so that the Indian and European develop the same proposal. So that was the question I keep on coming, and that needs to be very well clarified, because the joint nature of the evaluation made the whole thing change, because there is no separate or parallel evaluation. So the decision will be made together without any change in ranking.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Vivek, for again emphasizing this specific criteria and condition for this coordinated call. I would say we can come to the conclusion of today's event. I think many people are like maybe a bit tired. It's been very intense of also listening to all the presentations. As we said, we will share the recording of this webinar with all the participants, and also all the presentations with the contact details of the presenters. So there's a possibility post webinar to network and exchange ideas and contacts. And I would also like to invite again Dr. Hafsa for the concluding remarks of today's webinar. Dr. Hafsa, it has been a very interesting session. And again, thank you so much for all the support from your office side. And would you kindly, give the concluding remarks, and also then the final words with Dr. Vivek as well. Thank you, Dr. Hafsa.
Thank you so much. So I'm very confident that you must have had a very meaningful exchange throughout these last 3.5 hours. And the enthusiasm shown by all the participants has been deeply encouraging. Since the call is now already out, and we are entering the implementation phase, so logically the next step is for all these researchers and institutions to come together, and we encourage all of them to form consortia that are very balanced, well integrated, and are aligned with the priorities of these priorities that outlined in the call. From the Indian side, the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy and the Office of the Principal Scientific Advisors Office, and from the EU side, the EU delegation and the DGRNI, all these offices remain committed to all the support that would be required for all the researchers, participants on this journey ahead. And let me close by just saying and expressing my gratitude to the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, the leadership at the Office of PSA, all the support provided by Dr. Dham from the EU delegation, all other colleagues at the delegation and the DGRNI for bringing us to this stage. And we look forward to having more meaningful exchanges ahead. Thank you so much for the active participation, and over to you, Vivek, sir.
Yes, Vivek. Thank you so much, Dr. Hafsa. Yeah, Vivek.
Thank you, Samrat. Thank you, Hafsa. Just nothing to add. I will say that 96 days are left, to be precise, if you count from today. And to be more precise, is 2,304 hours are left to submit the proposal on 2nd of September. So you have very short time to have a proposal, and you also need to consider the Indian holidays and European holidays. So I request all the people to make maximum use of the time available right now, and interact and put forward and competitive proposals. And we look forward to have a greater number of proposals, so that we can select the best proposals to address the challenge what both the sides are facing right now. Thank you. Thank you very much for your attention.
Okay, thank you so much, Vivek. Once again, thank you so much, Dr. Hafsa, for the concluding remarks. And I think it was a remarkable session, and we're very much looking forward to see now, the real work starting. As Dr. Vivek said, there are less than 100 days left, but we already saw that many of the participants and presenters already are actively building up a consortium and looking actively for partners to complement it, both from India and Europe, and that's very encouraging and very promising for us. And we hope that this webinar today has contributed, to kind of again build up a stronger network and consortium. And as I said, you will get all these presentations and the recording into your inbox probably by tomorrow. With that, we wish you a very good evening here in India, a very good lunchtime in Europe. And for those who have joined from Europe, even despite being a holiday, thank you so much for taking all this precious time to be with us. With that, I say goodbye and see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.